If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business, get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email, gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Hockey talent from across the globe is coming to Camrose. The Viking Cup returns for the first time in nearly 20 years, December 28th to January 3rd at the Encana Arena. Witness this elite competition between teams from Canada, the USA, and Europe. See the speed, skill, and intensity of world-class hockey right at home. Full event packages are on sale now with adult and student tickets before they go out. VikingCup.ca.
Ho, ho, ho! 'Tis the season to find the perfect gift at the perfect price at Leduc Goldsmiths.
The annual sale with 10 to 25% off all in-store products. All natural and lab-created diamond engagement rings up to 25% off with a wide selection available. You'll have no trouble finding the right piece. The team at Leduc Goldsmiths has years of expertise. Leduc Goldsmiths on Main Street, Leduc. Leduc's jewelry store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years.
When you're driving, Tyreek Hill went down in week 4. Here is a shot for one.
Toro's gas and single-stage power clear snowblowers make it easy to clear right down to the concrete with incredible Toro-powered Propel technology. Face the next snow day without fear.
Pretty good back. Toro in the lawnmower. Just so you know, lawnmower. He's a killer.
The Shingle at this special time of year with the tie-up this and fertilizers extends best wishes for a happy holiday season and sincere thanks for your goodwill throughout the year. Merry Christmas from all the staff at McEwen's Fuels and Fertilizers, proudly serving Alberta's capital region since 1980.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy corn hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Feels.
The Jason Gregor Show.
He has finding Stutzla. He's in with the check. It's the check. Sabres win in overtime.
On Sports 1440.
Down in week 4. Here is a shot for one. Underthrown. Picked off by Asante Samuel.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
The tie of this game. He's pretty good at basketball. Just so you know. He's a killer.
Well, a terrific Tuesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. We appreciate it. It is a busy day. It's a Tuesday. We got lots going on. The Oilers and the Penguins. And I have to say, for a mid-December game, there are some of the juiciest storylines that that you can think of in a mid-December game between the Oilers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So first, you have the goalie revenge game for both sides. Doesn't happen very often. Tristan Jarry, Stuart Skinner. Tristan Jarry will play his second game as an Oiler in the organization where he spent 12 seasons. He was drafted 44th overall in 2013. Then a few years later, spent a few years in the American League, the first 2 years. Then he split his next 2 years, half in the NHL, half in the American League. And then since 1920 has been regular in the NHL outside of 12 games last season in the AHL. Stuart Skinner was drafted 73rd overall in 2017. 8 years in the Oilers organization. Helped them to 2 Stanley Cup finals. Both of these guys are top 5 in wins all time in their organization. Jari's 3rd in games played, 3rd in wins. Skinner is 6th in games played for a goalie, 5th in wins all time. They've done really well for themselves in both organizations. And one quick trade, and boom, Tristan Jarry, of course, will be playing in his old city tonight. Probably be harder for him, I think, than it will be Skinner. Skinner coming home to Edmonton later this year. Place he grew up, right? He grew up in Terwilliger, played for Southside Athletic Club, played for the Oilers. I think that'll probably be a little bit more emotional. Lots more family. Everybody else is around. That first game for him, it's against his former team, which is a little odd, but as he said, just, hey, rip the Band-Aid off quickly. But they'll both be fired up. Like, there'll be no shortage of emotion in that game tonight for both goaltenders. That we can say for sure, right? There's no doubt in my mind that for sure is going to make for some fun storylines, right? Both guys are desperately going to want to win. Both guys, I'm sure, are going to put a little cashola up on the board tonight for the game. Meanwhile, you have Leon Draisaitl going for 0.1000. He didn't get it on Sunday. Man, I would put down a lot of shekels for Draisaitl to get a point tonight. I mark it down. I don't think he's going to miss out on 2 consecutive games on 0.1000. Also, Sidney Crosby. The tickets in Pittsburgh are going for a costly penny. You want to know why? Because Sidney Crosby could tie Mario Lemieux for most points in Penguins franchise history tonight. 1,723. What a career. And once he passes him, you know what? Now, maybe he'll stay there and, he's going to chase the Gordie Howe record, which is most points for one organization, which is 1,809. Steve Yzerman is second at 1,755. Crosby's going to pass him in the NHL scoring race all time later on this year. What does he need? 35 points to pass him? I think he will. Next year, he'll pass Ron Francis, could even pass Gordie Howe at 1,850 for sure. But that's a big deal in Pittsburgh. It would be like if Connor McDavid stays in Edmonton past his 2-year extension, he would have a legit chance to pass Wayne Gretzky for most points all time as an Edmonton owner. It's a record people thought would never be broken. Now, Wayne did it in obviously fewer games, just like Mario did in fewer games, but that's irrelevant. You're on the all-time scoring chart for a franchise. It's a pretty big deal. So you've got that. Then you throw in now, obviously not nearly as big of a storyline, but exciting for Quinn Hudson. He will make his first appearance of the season for the Edmonton Oilers. He'll play with Lazar and Frederick tonight. I wonder if he'll get a few shifts, after penalty kills or special teams or something, depending on how he's playing with, a shift here or there with McDavid or Draisaitl. Won't be shocked to see it. Maybe, maybe with Nugent Hopkins, because sometimes they go after penalty kills. They go Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman. Then they go with another line. It could be Hudson, Nugent Hopkins, and Podkolzin, for instance. Could see it. So we shall see. Those are some, there's no shortage of little juicy storylines tonight. Also, month of giving continues on today. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can text us in our Ewell inbox. We have 2 good packages for you. Package number 1. Now, this is back by popular demand. We had a few years without it, but it's back. It's the party package at On the Rocks, but it's even better than before. So here's what I get. You get a pub party for 10 people. It's 5 appies, 10 entrees, 4 drinks per person, right? So that's part A of the deal. Then part B, you're going to get $500 in gift certificates, $250 at On the Rocks, and $250 at the brand new Druid that they are opening up next week. Anybody remember where the Mercer was downtown, right across the street from Rogers? Well, that's where the Druid's going to be. So basically, the Druid's coming out of retirement. If you remember the Druid on 116th, well, a lot of the signage, everything that was inside, it's coming back up. So it'll be awesome. So there's $250 for OTR, $250 for the Druid. You get the pub party for 10, and you get a pair of seats to the Oilers Tampa Bay game on March 21st. Because then you can plan if you want to have like beforehand, use that GC beforehand, little dinner package. It'll be loads of fun. So that is the pub party for 10. Now, I'm going to ask a question for our next package, because I would say the vast majority of our listeners have never watched a game from the loge seats. Cons, have you ever sat in loge at an Oiler game?
Definitely have not.
Okay. So
Would love to.
I think you're like many people.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty expensive. So we have two options. We can just do a live auction, or we can take 10 people, put in $200 each, and one of you is going to win the loge table for basically $200. Right? Obviously, you'll get a tax receipt for your donation if you don't win. So let me know on the text line if you would rather bid or rather do the, hey, I got a 1 in 10 chance, $200 for a loge table, courtesy of Will Hoff beef jerky, and you get the underground parking pass. 200 bones. That's a pretty good deal to sit in the loge for 4 people. Right? Maybe get your buddies each put in $50. So let us know on that one. We'll kind of take that based on the text line 833-401-1440. If we want to go in for 10 people at 2 or not. 833-401-1440. Just say, yeah, I'd be in on that. If we get enough of them, I think maybe we'll do that, because it's something that not a lot of people could do. Some people say, you know what? Hey, I can afford $200. A lot of times I'll make a $200 charitable donation. Now I'll go. So if you want in for the 200, just text in 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Okay? That would be good. So pretty simple. Oilers, we'll hear from Tristan Jarry. We heard from him yesterday. We'll hear from Stuart Skinner today. Also, Chris Knobloch, Quinn Hudson is back in the NHL. Did have 2 games late last season. Looks like a very different player. When you see him play tonight, you're going to see it. Bigger, well, not bigger, but stronger, more physical. He is, I think he's a little bit better of a skater. Way stronger on pucks. The scouting report I got from multiple people, the biggest difference for him, and there's a big difference. You go from college to now you play in the pros. And they're like, dude, I got to get stronger. Every player says it. I've never met a player who's like, I'm strong enough. Of course not. And he's won a lot of battles in Bakersfield, been really strong on pucks, and that's a big key for him. So. And, oh, by the way, which game is the loge table? Good question. How about you're going to see the Oilers, of course, McDavid, Draisaitl, but you're also going to see arguably the most dynamic young rookie in the game, Matthew Schaefer, and the New York Islanders. Sorokin in goal. So, well, I think I got my answer. And I think we already got 9 people in for the low seats, Connor Halley. So that's good. So I'll figure that out, but I think that's what we're going to do. So courtesy of Will Hawk Beef Jerky, we're going to have 10 people. Once we get all their donations, it'll make the draw. So that's 2 Gs right there. Awesome. And package number 1 opens up at 500 from Mike. Obviously, that one's going to go up. This is a great package from OTR, man. I might have to bid on that. I haven't been to OTR in a while. I love that place. Pub party for 10. You know what? The entrees, dinner, and 4 drinks per person. So that's one part. Do the math in your head, right? That's 40 drinks and the dinners and the appetizers. Plus, you get $500 in GC, $250 at OTR, another $250 at the brand new Druid that is opening up next week downtown, right at the old Mercer. And then you'll get a pair of seats to the Oilers Tampa Bay game on March 21st. By then, it'll be post-trade deadline. I'll have a chance to see some of the new faces, because trust me, the Oilers are making a trade between now and March 21st. I am very, very confident that the lineup you see today will not be 100% complete by then. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by playalberta.ca. And if you're feeling lucky tonight, you might want to go to playalberta.ca. Get your tickets for Lotto Max. $80 million and the home of Max Millions, 14 of them at playalberta.ca. And of course, also remember, we always have the Jason Gregor Show specials. We got 3 of them. We got the Oilers to win by 2 and Draisaitl to get a goal. We also have McDavid and Draisaitl 2 points. Evan Bouchard gets 1. And the Connor Halley special, a Curtis Lazar goal tonight. Ooh. Well, that was a little conjunction, con man and myself. Both were like, you know what, somebody in the bottom 6 at some point, because the bottom 6 started really well. They had 11 goals in the first 12 games in October, and you're thinking, hey, look at the Oilers' depth. It's no problem. Their big guys weren't scoring then. But since November 1st, it's been a struggle. In 21 games, 7 goals from the bottom 6. 2 of them from Tomasic, 1 from Clattenburg. I don't even know the lineup tonight. Mangiapane's got 1. Henrique's got 1. Lazar's got 1. Janmark's got 1. That's it. Henrique doesn't have a goal, and Hudson, obviously, this is his first game of the year. So, I don't mind that little play there on pretty good odds. I'll say that. Pretty good odds on a Lazar Gino tonight.
And Gregor, I think we've had 2 other Connor Halley specials. One included the Chargers. The other was the over in the Oilers scoring the last goal, and they both hit. So
that's true.
There might be something to it.
The Halley specials are 2-0. 2-0 so far. So there you go.
Also, I want to ask you this, just on the topic of Schaefer, since that it would be a fun game. Is he entering that category of must watch? Like, he's in town, let's go see him play.
I'm guaranteeing that most fans haven't spent time watching the Islanders. I get it. Probably don't have if you don't have the NHL package, you're like, when do I see them? You get the odd game maybe on Sportsnet, but I'm telling you, I've watched about 8 of his games. And I knew he was a good skater. I did not know he was this good. Like, he is dynamic and he is big. Like, this guy has all the potential to be like, when he got drafted last year, there was and that's what I love about it. There was no generational garbage or anything like that. Why overhype guys? They're like, hey, good player, really good skater. It only played 17 games last year due to injury. And man, he has been outstanding for the Islanders. Outstanding. But it's just his mobility, how he skates and moves, and then defending as an 18-year-old in the NHL. Like, it is really hard. And he has made it at times look somewhat easy. So, yes, he is a player, right? Like, if I'm looking at new players, like young players I want to watch, Schaefer, for sure. Bedard, Celebrini, and I like the Ducks. The Ducks got a few guys in Anaheim. Leo Carlson, Cutter Gauthier. Those are some guys for sure. Like, obviously, anytime Kucherov, McKinnon, those guys come to town, Rantanen's still a player I like to watch. Obviously, Cale Makar. Right? Quinn Hughes, pretty dynamic player. David Draisaitl, we're kind of spoiled in Edmonton. We see them all the time. So, but yeah, he is somebody to watch. No question at all. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Greg Wyshynski will join us. It's probably, I wonder, here, I'm going to just, I won't even waste it, but I'll talk about Greg. Because I sense I'm already hearing the excuses slowly coming out of the USA about the men's Olympic team. They're too banged up. Right? They're already setting themselves up. Right? Remember they thought they were going to win 4 Nations. Right? Remember they won the prelim game? And they're like, oh, yeah. It's like Big Brother. We're going to take him down. Haven't done. And I'm telling you, Cons, I know what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to write this script today and we're going to save it. And I think it'll be exactly what happens at the Olympics. So we'll get to that and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love, better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodle-noodle.ca. Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle-noodle at oodle-noodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodle-noodle.ca. Oodle-noodle.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
After 20 years, Canada's most prestigious international hockey tournament returns. The Camrose Viking Cup, December 28th to January 4th at Encana Arena. Tickets at vikingcup.ca. Brought to you by Sports 1440. Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
He's a winner.
Sweet.
She's a winner too.
Great.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. 90 seconds east of the Henday. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
Get ready, Edmonton. Glow Christmas Festival returns to light up the Edmonton Expo Center from December 4th to 31st with dazzling activities for the entire family. Wander the glowing trails, meet Santa in his sleigh, and shop from over 30 local artisans and vendors with handcrafted gifts and holiday treasures perfect for everyone on your list. Get your tickets and learn more about what's on this season by visiting the calendar of events at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Your New Year's Eve plans just got a major upgrade. On the Rocks is throwing the ultimate party to launch you into the new year with a bang. The legendary Tallboy is hitting the stage live, providing the soundtrack for an unforgettable night. A 3-course dinner is available to kick things off before the main party starts. This is how you celebrate New Year's Eve. Dinner and a party tickets are available now. Book your spot online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocksyeg.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
We continue on Tuesday afternoon, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely day. 833 401 1440. It is the Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Oilers in Pittsburgh on one of the juiciest storylines I can recall in a mid-December matchup between two teams who aren't even in the same conference, never mind division. It's kind of wild. As we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. He's built a worse box with odd socks as a prize and even left behind a Who Hash surprise. Looking to see the Grinch's big reveal? It's only at McDonald's, his Grinchiest meal. I like to be poets on the show, too, sometimes. How are you? As we welcome in from ESPN, Greg Wyshynski. Greg, how you doing?
What a UCN intro that was. That was very exciting.
Mm-hmm, it is.
All the Who's in Whoville will be watching the Stuart Skinner revenge game tonight.
Yeah, well, who's more revenge, Skinner or Jari? Not sure.
Skinner. Come on, man. Skinner backstopped this team.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, to consecutive Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep.
He has professed on many occasions his love and admiration for this organization, being a child in the stands cheering for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, as he told me for a feature I wrote about him earlier this year. And he was cast aside for Tristan Jarry.
Yeah, well, it is interesting. What did you make of that deal?
I didn't like them taking the full freight of the contract. I'm actually kind of still stunned that Kyle Dubas found someone to take the entirety of that contract without holding back any of the cap hit. So I'm not a big fan of that. Jarry's good though. He's competent. I think there's a steadiness to him that obviously they didn't necessarily have with Skinner. The playoff part of it's the tough part to wrap your head around because he's had little to no experience playing in the postseason, but the one series where he was the primary goaltender, he basically lost the series for Pittsburgh.
Right.
Again, you don't have to go too far back to like Marc-Andre Fleury as a guy who used to get just destroyed for his performance in the postseason, and then gradually became somebody who was quite good at it. And so you can't hold that against Jarry necessarily, but it does linger on your mind that the whole point of this thing is to try to stabilize the position, especially in the playoffs, and they're requiring a goaltender whose short resume includes a really bad performance in the playoffs. Yeah.
And it's one time. I give you a list of guys whose first time through the playoffs wasn't that good, including Connor McDavid, Datsuk, lots of guys. So now I will say Jarry has infinitely more pressure on him in Edmonton because it's like if he doesn't make it to the Cup final, regardless of what his numbers is, people are going to say, yeah, but Stuart Skinner he might have got pulled a game or two, but he was unreal in the conference finals every year. And, he had 3 shutouts against Vegas. So you're right. He still had some good times. There's no question. Do you think he re-signs in Pittsburgh?
It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, his contract runs him right up to Connor potentially leaving, right? So who even knows what any of that looks like if the landscape changes that dramatically. So who knows? But I think the more intriguing question at this point, Gregor, is who will be his crease mate? Right now it's Calvin Pickard, but our mutual friend Jeff Merrick, when we did MVSW today on the sheet, talked about how Jarmo Kekalainen has indicated they're looking just for a 2-goalie rotation in Buffalo, and how that could ultimately mean that Alex Lyon is the odd man out, and an Alex Lyon, Tristan Jarry battery in Edmonton versus a Stu Skinner, Calvin Pickard battery in Edmonton. As much as I do like Skinner and the dog in him in the playoffs, you'd probably have to say that Lyon and Jarry is an upgrade over Pickard and Skinner overall, if that happened.
Yeah, I would agree for sure. Yeah, no, I meant, do you think Skinner re-signs in Pittsburgh?
Oh, I thought you meant Jarry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know because they've got the kids in the system that they like, and obviously Seeloff's who they acquired from Vancouver has done pretty well for them, this season. So that's a good question. I mean, I think that it probably depends on where the younger goalies are in their development. Is kind of probably what their thinking is with Skinner. But again, like listen, as everyone at Edmonton knows, that those moments in which this guy battles and hangs in there and probably outkicks his own coverage as an NHL goaltender, it can be kind of inspiring. Like he's a charismatic guy. He's a guy that you want to rally around. And I do wonder if that ultimately transfers over with his performance in Pittsburgh. And if it does, maybe they keep him around.
Greg Wyshynski from ESPN joins us. Greg, there's the goalie revenge game. There's also Leon Draisaitl, who's going to be the 20th quickest to 1,000 points. First German player to 1,000 points. He's the greatest German player. There's no question. He's going to go down as one of the greatest players in the NHL. And then you also got Sidney Crosby chasing the franchise record of 1,723 points. Now, he would need 3 to break the record, 2 to tie the record. But that is like, and I was reading people in Pittsburgh, ticket prices for this game are going through the roof because people want to be there to see it. Like, it's a pretty big deal to catch Mario.
Not points per game, of course.
Yeah,
That's
wow. But is there a points per game record? Like, yeah, sure, but I don't really see one. No one's like highest points per game in NHL history.
I'm just playing the Mario fanboy that I am when it comes to the things that could have been accomplished had he been healthy and not played in an era that was, as you know, a garage league, clutching and grabbing and slashing and all that stuff that he had to play through. No, it's an amazing accomplishment. And again, like, you think about the cup wins and how much he's meant to that organization and everything else. And these moments that we're going to have in the coming years with Sid to really start to celebrate this guy's legacy as the sun starts setting on his career is going to be a hell of a time, because I think that we've all witnessed one of the greatest careers in the history of the game. And a chance to kind of like calculate and tribute and do all the things we're going to do is going to be really nice to kind of tie a bow around it. And these milestones, as they start to come along for him, are going to be the first times we get to do it. So it could be a real big night, like you said, tonight for the Penguins.
You look at, now, let's say Crosby breaks that franchise record. And, you look at the Penguins, they've had a really nice start. I think reality is starting to kick in slowly for the Penguins. They traded away their starting goaltender. Now, they did get another starting goalie back. So some would argue that maybe it's not a white flag at all. It's just giving them some flexibility. It's debatable on that one. Do you think Crosby goes anywhere else before his career is over?
I still think it's possible. I was predicting before the season that it was going to be before the trade deadline. And I don't think that anymore, because I do think the Penguins, and because of the parity that we have in this league, I think the Penguins are going to be like within sniffing distance of a playoff spot long enough this year that he's going to at least play out the string with Gino, which has always been kind of one of the things you've heard about Sid, is that as long as Malkin is in Pittsburgh, he's going to be in Pittsburgh. Well, Gino has 1 year left on his deal. So who knows after that? So at the very least, I'm pretty convinced that he'll stick around for this season. But after that, who knows? I mean, I say again, like, this guy really would love to probably be in the playoffs. This guy would certainly love to play for a championship again, or be in the championship conversation before his career is over. And increasingly, that's not going to be in Pittsburgh, although they're a hell of a lot more relevant than we thought they'd be. So when push comes to shove, will there be a reevaluation by Sid in the offseason? Perhaps. But if they finish out of the money again, it's really hard for me to believe that he's going to spend the waning years of his career just playing for a lottery team. But again, I think this season he's probably in Pittsburgh for the full run of it.
Greg Wyshynski joins us. Greg, we look around the NHL, and I believe 4 or 5 best teams in the league right now are in the West. Definitely, there's the 2 in the Central for sure. Minnesota, maybe Quinn Hughes puts them in that category. I still think Edmonton's good. Vegas, I think, is good. Tampa Bay is probably the one Eastern team. Like Carolina, I'm sorry, until they get a scoring forward, I just look at them as a really good regular season team who's not a cup contender. Now, if Florida gets healthy, that changes my equation. What do you make of the East? Is there anybody that you look and say, I actually think they're good, like really good?
Yeah, Carolina. I mean, like, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying as far as like they don't have Gensel and they don't have Rantanen, and they had Ehlers, but Ehlers isn't Gensel or Rantanen. But I do think as a team, they're generating a good amount of offense this season. again, like for me, it's the goaltending is still sort of specious. We overlook it a lot because of how good they are defensively in front of their net. But offensively, they might just have enough with these little acquisitions they've made along the way. Your Taylor Halls, your Logan Stankovens, your Nick Ehlers, where the totality of the team, top to bottom, might be good enough offensively to make it through finally. We're all trying to figure out what Florida is going to look like, especially if and when they get Barkov back. And other than that, I'll say this again, like it's hard to say this because they're never healthy, but when the Devils had a healthy Jack Hughes and other players that are currently out of the lineup, they were the second best team in the league behind Colorado as far as points percentage. So, I mean, they've got the potential to do that. But then you're asking, this team that perpetually is on the IR to be healthy all at the same time. And we've yet to really see that.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. What do you make of the Rangers and just how terrible they are on home ice?
I just think that some team every year seems to have this weird thing where like they're either great on the road or great at home, and then they stink the other direction. And they just seem like they're that team now. I can't speak to whether it's the pressures of playing in MSG or any of that stuff. It just kind of is inexplicable at this point. I mean, the thing about the Rangers is that they are exactly who I kind of thought they'd be, which is a team that has some systemic depth problems, especially on their blue line when you get past whatever pairing Garakov's on. They have one of the best goalies in the world. They have good veteran scoring, but just not enough on the roster to really be a threat to, win a championship or anything like that. And so this was always going to be a transitionary year to continue to move away from the previous core to whatever they're going to be next. The team of Will Cooley and Gabe Perreault and some of the younger guys they have coming through, along with Adam Fox and their heralded captain, JT Miller. But, I still think they're good enough to make the playoffs. I just don't think that they were going to ever go anywhere beyond maybe the first round.
Now, I want to get to the Olympics, which is we're just about 2 weeks away today, I think, I think it's the 30th. When they announced the playoff, the Olympic rosters. Now, obviously, stuff could change if guys get hurt between then and the Olympics. A guy like Connor Bedard, maybe his separated shoulder might alter his spot on that roster. I don't know. We'll see. But you look at Team USA, and let's start with what concerns you about them right now.
Can I ask you a question? Like, how cemented was Bedard on your Canadian roster before he separated his shoulder?
Oh, I had him as one of the 14. He might not have been in my top 12, but he was going to be in my 14, like top 5 scorer in the league. Yeah,
that's fair. I've been trying to get a hand. I mean, obviously, like Celebrini has completely cemented himself on that roster, and I think that competition between those two is over. I'm always curious to find people's perceptions of where Bedard should be. As far as the roster goes, I mean, it's twofold, right? I mean, obviously, I think your question probably has some Austin Matthews coding to it. I too am concerned about being one of the best offensive players in the world, not being that guy at the moment. He'll obviously be on the roster. He's obviously coming to Italy, and then you hope for the best. But the real question for the U.S. roster continues to be one of philosophy. Do the stewards of this team see it as a team that needs the 200-foot veteran guys like Brock Nelson and Chris Kreider and Vincent Trocheck and others that populated the Four Nations roster, or do they see the opportunity to have some bright, young, offensive-oriented players like a Cole Caulfield and Clayton Keller and others on the roster instead? I am very much in the camp of get as much goal scoring on the roster as you can and figure it out later. But I imagine that, knowing who's in the brain trust of this team, it's probably going to be more of the gritty character types that ultimately make this roster, just like they did at Four Nations, versus more diminutive, maybe one-way players.
Yeah, I look like who do you see? Like, I was still surprised in the Four Nations final that hey, we got the one guy who scores a lot of goals, but we're not going to play him in Kyle Connor. I found that a little odd, to be honest. But if you look at Team USA, like they have some older guys that I think are kind of easy. They're not going to come back this time. But who are your kind of new guys that you would say, hey, they got to be on the team this year?
I think Keller's one of them. I mean, obviously Tage Thompson's going to be on the team. He was their number one reserve. He was sitting in the stands in Boston during the gold medal game, ready to hop in if he needed to be an injury replacement. I assume, I hope Jason Robertson's on the roster. I think he's been incredible for Dallas so far. There's a few others here and there that I think the argument could be made. But ultimately, it's a good problem to have. I was talking to somebody about Matthews this morning and how in the past, if a player like that wasn't hitting his marks, it'd be panic time for Team USA. But when you think about the firepower that they have up front, you think about the Kachucks and all this stuff, like they're deeper and more talented up and down, especially at the forward spot as far as goal scoring than they've ever been, I think, as an organization. So I'll be intrigued to see where they end up with on this roster. But again, like they've got a lot of options and more options than I think they've ever had.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I look at it. I've been reading, and I've noticed there's starting to be, and I know you're on the pulse of United States hockey, but I've started to see, this might not be our year. We're a little bit banged up. Are you guys already setting yourself up for a loss?
Where are you reading this? The Pravda of Canada? There is the utmost confidence that we're going to win gold this year. I take it as a tribute to the importance of the Olympics that all these players have decided to rest up for it, be it Jack Hughes or Adam Fox. For God's sakes, Connor Halley went under the knife in preparation of the Olympics. So all of these guys are banged up, but they're also well rested. And by the time the Olympics roll around in Italy in February, you will be witnessing the fully armed and operational battle station that is the U.S. men's Olympic hockey team and their journey to win gold.
Should be fun. Who's got the best chance to knock one of Canada or U.S. out of the gold medal game?
I mean, based on Canada's history, probably Latvia, but Sweden. I would normally say Finland just because the Finns are pesky, but yes. I mean, without Barkov, I think that becomes a bit of a tougher lift. Sweden's a really talented team. I mean, they're clearly the third best team in the draw, and they probably need one good game of goaltending from any number of the guys they're going to have on the roster, be it Markstrom or be it Ullmark, and up front they've got an incredibly high level of skill. So that would be the team I'd worry about in the road towards the gold medal game. The King Kong and Godzilla marauding through the countryside on the way to the gold medal game, only to have Sweden ruin the party.
Well, I'll tell you right now, heading into the Olympic tournament in hockey, there's no bigger favorite than the women's USA team. They steamrolled Canada right now in the rivalry series. So they look a little bit quicker. I'll be curious to see if Canada can regroup. It's a short period of time. I don't know if they're going to alter their roster, but man, they got the USA just looked way quicker in that series. And if that continues, it could be a pretty big win for Team USA. And I don't see it like, come on, the women's is a 2-horse race. I think we all know that. So it comes down to, can Canada find their game?
I would completely agree with your assessment. I think they've looked like the better team the entire year. But again, how many times has the U.S. dominated in places like Worlds, for example, and then gone to the Olympics, and it's been a different story against Canada. So until it's all said and done, it's not said and done. But I am optimistic that they could maybe be the one team USA that we're pretty sure is going to take home gold.
Awesome, Greg. Good stuff, buddy. We appreciate it. Have yourself a great day.
Anytime.
There you go. That's Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. So. We do have our 10 people who look like they are, once we get their donations, but they've said they're in, so we'll do for that. And so that's kind of package number 2 is pretty much called for, which is great. Package number 1, still a steal right now, only at 500. So we'll get that up a little bit. We'll tell you what it is when we return to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Be sure to say hi to Deck in the conversation over at our YouTube page and more. It's Gregor Show presented by playalberta.ca.
We want orange. Give us the orange. We want orange. Bring back the orange.
You got it, Canada. Booster Juice orange smoothies are back by popular demand. The original, the marathon, and orangesicle smoothies are back and bursting with tangy zest of oranges. They're Canadian favorites. Orange, you glad they're back? Only for a limited time. So squeeze the day, smoothie lovers, and head to a Booster Juice near you now. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Boxing Week blowout starts early at the Brick. Find real Boxing Day prices early and beat the rush on the 26th. Score the best deals on electronics and appliances. Plus, save up to $1,000 off sectionals. Buy more, save more. Up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Up to 40% off mattresses. And up to $500 off big screen TVs. Don't wait for the crowds. Shop the Brick's Boxing Week Early Access event. Some exclusions apply. The Brick, saving you more.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right. So Santa called up his pals at Legacy Heating. And ho, 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 golly gee, 1 year, no payments, interest-free. And the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body-checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
The team at the James Insurance Group wishes you a happy holiday season full of warmth, peace, and time with friends and family. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the team at the James Insurance Group in Killam, Sedgwick, Lougheed, and Hardisty.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
I pulled into Nazareth, was feeling about dead. I just need some place.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.247, welcome back. Tuesday afternoon, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely day. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by playalberta.ca. And the Oilers, a little juicy game tonight in Pittsburgh, taking on the Penguins. Jari, of course, versus Skinner, the goalies. Then you got Brett Kulak. Although this is Kulak's fourth NHL team, so it's obviously hard anytime you face your team. But he's been through this before. Probably a lot different for Jari and Skinner than it will be for Kulak tonight. Then you got Draisaitl going for 0.1000. You got Sidney Crosby chasing down Merrill Lemieux for the most points in franchise history. So Crosby's he's gonna pass him, whether it's tonight or this week. He needs 3 points to pass him. Then he'll be 8th. Then Steve Yzerman, he'll pass him before the end of the season. He'll be 7th. Then next year, Ron Francis, Marcel Dion. He's 5th. But have a decent chance to pass Gordie Howe next year, maybe. To move into 4th. And then it's how long does he want to play? Because the way he's playing right now, you look at Crosby, he needs 278 points. Let's say he gets another 40 points this year. Then he needs 238 points. It's basically 3 more seasons of 80 points, which is definitely no easy task. But it's possible. Very possible that he could do it. So actually, no, he'd be having even more than that because kind of right now he's on a point a game pace for this year. So let's say he stays healthy and gets 80 points this year. He would need about 220, 225, give or take. Would he stay 3 more years? He's got 1 year left in his contract after this year for sure. Would he stick around? I've always said he's got a chance if he wants to. Like, I think Connor McDavid's a lock to get to 2,000 points. I'll say it right now. I've been saying it for 2 years. I've crunched the numbers. He'll be at 1,200 points by the time the season's over. He's got 10 more years left, at least. He's going to get 800 points in 10 years. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good chance. So, and hey, if Crosby didn't have miss those games due to concussion, yeah, he'd probably be at 2,000 for sure. I would agree. Right? He's played. This is his 21st season. 21. Oh. And he's been a point a game player every time. It's good. So we'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Where? No payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace, man. It's going to get gross cold again. You don't want your furnace to conk out then. No payments, no interest. LegacyHeating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town, over 45 years. Cam, born with cerebral palsy, never let him stop. He's in a wheelchair, doesn't matter. Cam is a hard worker, a battler, and always wanted to be in radio. Now, through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Can't begin this broadcast experience with, here's your hat and coat, what's your hurry? And my grandma Murray, bless her soul, that woman who could silence a room with one arched eyebrow, would look at me, disappointed, profoundly disappointed. If I began with, don't let the door hit you on your way out, so I won't use such colloquial barbarisms. Promise, Gregor. But the numbers before us tonight, oh, they constitute a temptation, a near Faustian temptation, to use precisely such impertinent introductions. Because here's the remarkable thing. The Edmonton Oilers and the Pittsburgh Penguins, who play tonight, are ranked number 1 and number 3 in consecutive home sellouts in NHL history. Key word there, Connor Halley, history. Pittsburgh is number 1, 633 games. The Oilers are number 3, 549 games. Edmonton fans are loyal. Goodness gracious, they are loyal. Now, thank you to the 164 souls who shared, not took time. There's a difference, shared time to vote on today's 2-minute warning poll. Even regarding hockey, that's civic spirit, folks, that precious engagement with community. The question posed was deliciously Shakespearean. Stuart Skinner and Tristan Jarry. They face one another tonight. So who are folks cheering for? 85.4% said Jarry. 14.6% said Skinner. The inexorable logic of sport dictates only one can win. And my money? Well, Grandma Murray taught me this immutable truth. Never, ever wager against loyalty. Watch for another poll tomorrow. This has been the 2-minute warning. Gregor, Halley, Kruger, Tater, Sports 1440.
You know, it is an interesting question because there were a lot of Skinner fans. I know that the ones who weren't Skinner fans are very vocal, and that's fine. It's great. But there were a lot of people that were Skinner fans. Some maybe grew up with him in Terwilliger. Some played with him, knew him when he played in the South Side. And they just liked him. They liked his mustache. They liked his resiliency because if he did have a tough game, Skinner has proven he can bounce back. Did it multiple times. Did it the most important time of the year in the playoffs. Now, some would say, hey, I wish didn't have to do it. Sure, so does he. But you know what? You can't change something that can occur. You can only react to it and respond to it. And every time that, you know, he had an obstacle, I'll give Skinner credit. He didn't sink. He didn't walk. Because we've seen other players, right? You have a bad game, you have a bad stretch, and can't get out of it. He always found a way to get his game back on track. He didn't lose the Stanley Cup final either year because of how he played. Right? In the Stanley Cup finals, he wasn't the reason they lost. And to me, I give him a boatload of credit for that because that is not easy to have some struggles and then be better. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Got this lengthy. John's fired up today. He's talking about originally, get rid of Bouchard, overpriced, overhyped. Need two stay-at-home defensemen. Get rid of Frederick. Why don't you potty Tomas? Why don't you get rid of everybody? Connor said it loud and clear that he's frustrated. I'm like, well, I can tell you right now, Connor McDavid's not frustrated with Evan Bouchard. Maybe the odd game, but he thinks Bouchard's an elite player. Talked to him on and off the record about it. The only way you're trading Evan Bouchard is if you're getting an elite defenseman back. That's just how McDavid views it. Otherwise, it'd be viewed as a negative. And so John responds, Connor's already annoyed and has been for 10 years, especially the last 4. Mid-management, if you're not in the playoffs, what good is Bouchard? So you're willing to pay someone to dig all year, sleep all year, doesn't get an eye exam, shorten his stick, get skating lessons, start doing energy drinks so he does fall asleep when playing. Or how about this? Just a dog with a sensor collar. One of him on a sensor, notice heart rate, absent, poor skating, etc. Connor said he is 100% stop the chaos, doing the same thing over and over. Keep Connor annoyed. Why did he sign 2 years? The orders of management are on the clock. The clock is ticking. Well, John, I love your enthusiasm. I love your passion. But let's get to a few things. Evan Bouchard has the odd play that frustrates you, sure. But it seems that that's all you focus on, and you ignore all the really good plays he makes. Can't really do it that way. Shortening his stick, no. Bouchard's stick, there's no issue with it. He's one of the best puck handlers. He's the most consistent hard shooter in the entire NHL. Fact. And he is good in the regular season. He has a few hiccups, yes, but they're still way more good than bad. As for the Oilers will make you don't think the Oilers are making the playoffs? I'll take any wager today from anyone for charity that the Oilers are making the playoffs today. Because I know a lot of people can say, oh, they're not making it. Well, then put your money where your mouth is for charity. Let's do it right now. I'm not saying they're going to win the cup, but making the playoffs, that's happening. It's not. There would be zero concern for me that that's not happening. But I think you're a little frustrated on a December 16th about the Oilers. Are the Oilers guaranteed to win the cup? Hell no. Hell no. Because can they stay healthy? That's the big one. Right? Look at the 2 years they lost in the cup final. Right? Draisaitl, Nurse hurt 1 year. Ekholm, Hyman hurt the other year. It matters. It impacts. Florida, the first year against Vegas, Tkachuk was not he played, but everybody who watched it knew he's playing one arm, right? How much of that impact? Now, they might have lost anyway, just like the Oilers might have lost if they were fully healthy. But it does impact the series. It changes things a lot when you get guys banged up. So there's a little bit of luck involved. You can build a good team, and then you need a little bit of luck because the other team in the final is pretty damn good. They had to win 3 series to get there, just like you did. So I can't say for certain if the Oilers are going to win the cup. I think the Oilers have a legit chance. I think that they're capable of playing much more consistent than they have in the regular season, and they've shown that time and time again. Now they got to figure it out, and if they don't win the Pacific Division this year, based on how teams are playing right now, I think it'd be a real waste because, like, Anaheim isn't dominant, Vegas isn't dominant. You should be able to beat those teams in the regular season in the standings. I think Edmonton has more skill and talent than both of those teams. So if they don't, and then they lose because they lose a Game 7 on the road in the Western Conference first 2 rounds, I'd blame it on the regular season for sure. But we'll see how it gets there. As for, like, Tomasik's a guy you're worried about, like, he's $1 million player. They took a chance on him. I don't think he's been that bad. Heck, I outlined in the last 21 games, he's got the most goals, your bottom 6. He's played the fewest games. So I might play him more, to be honest. You got some guys in there that are doing absolutely nothing. And I understand there's a little bit of the, well, we signed this guy's long-term deal, coach might like him, blah, blah, blah. But at some point, production's got to matter. Like Andrew Japani, like at least last game, he showed a pulse, played with a little intensity, annoyed some people. But you can't just do it once every 10 games, especially when you're not scoring. You better do it more frequently, right? Look at Trent Frederick. Wake the hell up, man. Wake up. So we got to be a lot better there, too. 2:59 coming up in the next hour. We'll hear from Jason Strudwick. We'll be by. Also, we're going to hear from Quinn Hudson, who's back. Matt Venzel will join us, give us the Pittsburgh lowdown. Now, we got 5 questions. We got Spec. We got the pregame show coming up in the 4:30 to 5:30. Myself and the con man running the show today in the pregame show inside of our show, which will be nice. And, of course, puck drop. By the time puck drops, probably like 5:45. So take you right through to puck drop today. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Winter's here, and it's the perfect time to make the switch. Swap your tires and be road ready for any season. At Fountain Tire, say they're on the road, they mean it. Fountain Tire, tire change season is now. FountainTire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Oilers Penguins tonight out in Pittsburgh. Stuart and Tristan Jarry going head-to-head against their former teams. Pre-game coverage here on Sports 1440 gets going at 4:30. Puck drop around 5:40. Elsewhere around the NHL, you got the Bruins and the Mammoth. Flyers take on the Canadiens. Rangers host the Canucks. Caps in Minnesota. Sharks taking on the Flames, and the Avalanche meet the Seattle Kraken. In the association is the NBA Cup Championship from Vegas. The Knicks battling the Spurs with $500,000 on the line. Tip-off set for 6:30. In the WHL, Oil Kings in Lethbridge at 7. AJ, you've got the Storm in Drumheller tonight. Also, Calgary hosting Fort Mac. 1 game earlier today. We're currently going. Whitecourt leads Devon 4-3 with 7 minutes left in the third period. In the PWHL, Ottawa Charge in Vancouver. That gets going at 8. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll talk some things with Matt Venzel. We'll be joined by Jason Strudwick and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
I'm making my list, checking it twice. And guess what? I'm giving Wilhock beef jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Wilhocking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Ho, ho, ho!
Available at Wilhock Beef Jerky in Leduc. Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value.
Afternoon.
To 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you
Tuesday.
the money.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their
Tuesday.
life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old man managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment.
At GS Construction, we focus on building a culture of collaboration, innovation, and respect. Our teams work together, supporting one another and striving towards shared goals. We're committed to creating a work environment that empowers individuals, values teamwork, and ensures everyone feels respected and safe. With decades of experience in the field, GS Construction prioritizes our people, our culture, and safety. This is what makes us unique. To find out more, go to gsconstruction.ca.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
After 3 o'clock, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. So we got our 10 entries in for the Will Hawk beef jerky loge and the parking pass. We're going to do that draw at 4:20. So if you're in one of the 10, be listening at 4:20. So that's one of our packages today for the month of giving. Our other package, courtesy of On the Rocks. Woohoo, baby. Do you like fun? If you're not a fun sponge, this is the package for you. So here's what it is. First of all, you'll get a pub party for 10 people, which includes 4 drinks for every person, 10 entrees, appetizers, and very good chance that you might get a little VIP treatment from Dr. Wang while he's there. Just saying. If you've ever been to OTR, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you're missing out. So that'll be a lot of fun. So that's part A of it. You're also going to get $500 in gift certificates, $250 at On the Rocks and $250 to use at the new Druid, which of course is owned by the same guys. That's where the Mercer used to be, right across from Rogers. It's opening up next week. It's gonna be sick. So there's 500 plus the pub party, and we have a pair of seats for the Oilers Tampa Bay game on March 21st. Kucherov, Point, Hedman, Vasilevsky, all of them are here. It's always a great game when Edmonton plays Tampa Bay. So that's the party pack, courtesy of On the Rocks. And right now, it's an absolute steal of $650 from Steven. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We are helping out Santa's Anonymous today. So let's get that up a little bit. We always like to get it to face value. So we'll rock and roll. Now, let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, the most diversified electrical contractor in the province. Commercial, real, for your home, solar, get you great deals, get you tax savings and interest-free loans, courtesy of the government to get it done. And man, it'll pay back 6 to 8 years. So recoup your costs and then save money long-term. ActionElectrical.net. Net. We go to Pittsburgh. Matt Venzel joins us from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And Matt, there's lots of storylines tonight. You got Crosby chasing down the franchise record. You got Draisaitl going for 1,000 point. And then you got Jari returning to Pittsburgh. Skinner and Kulak, their first game, playing their former team. It is no shortage of storylines tonight.
Yeah, it should be an entertaining night at the arena. I know everyone in Pittsburgh has kind of been eyeing the Sidney Crosby chase of Lemieux, and then you throw in this trade here, and just the odds of these two teams playing each other right afterwards is pretty slim. But yeah, it should make for an entertaining evening.
How important is this franchise, Mark, to Pens fans?
I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, this is a football town, that is for sure. Steelers are first and foremost. They had a big game last night, but hockey's become a big deal. I'm actually standing inside of a hockey rink right now, the RMU local college. Before the game here, I had to take my daughter to field hockey, and we've seen a lot of rinks pop up here because of Mario Lemieux, the success that he had with the Penguins, and obviously, what he did for the franchise is well documented. And then for Sid to come along too. I mean, these guys have made hockey a big deal. And, beyond the Steelers, they're probably the number 2 team in town, especially when they're going well. That really hasn't been the case the last couple of years here. You'll probably see as great as this game should be tonight in terms of the storylines, you'll probably see some empty seats. But when this team is playing well, Pittsburgh has shown that they will show up for this team.
When you look at the Penguins season, a lot of people are like, I'm not sure how good they'll be after last year. They came out of the gate flying. They were great, and they've been okay since. But, this weekend obviously was just a travesty by them. The San Jose game, blow a 5-1 lead in the third period, lose in overtime, blow a 3-0 lead against Utah, lose in overtime. Now, they didn't have Jari, they didn't have Skinner. How much of that was goaltending? How much of that is just the Pens aren't a great defensive team?
Yeah, I mean, even when the Penguins got off to that great start, I mean, on Halloween, I believe they had the NHL's best record. But if you looked at some of the underlying statistics, and we get data from SportLogic that do a really good job of breaking down not only like the number of chances that they're giving up, but where they're coming from. And there was a lot of warning signs with this team, and the Penguins were winning anyways. And the number one reason was goaltending. It was largely Jari, but Sheloff was playing really well as well. And, those numbers have only gotten worse. And with the goaltending kind of going into a little bit of a nosedive, in part because Jari was hurt and he missed time, we saw the Penguins kind of come back down to earth. And I do think this is the team that they are. I don't think they're a playoff team. They have some great legendary players, but I think we're kind of seeing the Penguins come back to their level. I don't know. They would probably argue if they had better results in shootouts and overtimes, the standings would look a lot differently. But we just saw the Penguins trade away Tristan Jari, and I don't think Kyle Dubas is afraid to trade more of their key players if he thinks it's a good deal for the future of the franchise.
Do you know what direction the Pens are going in? Like, because you can't be half pregnant. I don't think you can be a half rebuild. They got Sidney Crosby, Malkin's in the final year of his deal. There's still a Tang and Carlson. So, they've got some future Hall of Famers on the roster, but they're older. So, if I'm saying, I'd look and say, hey, you know what? We got to rebuild here. But it's like they're trying to rebuild and retool at the same time, and I'm not sure it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the way I would look at it is they're not going for a total teardown. I mean, Kyle Dubas has talked about how you just don't really see teams tear it down and, come back up all that quickly. I mean, it takes truly, luck with the lottery and having luck in the right year. So, the Penguins have done a really good job of just adding to their prospect pool, adding draft picks. The Ben Kindle pick was kind of criticized at the time. People thought it was a reach, but it looks like that's been a good pick. So their prospect pool has come a long way. Now it's still probably not a top 10 pool. They don't really have that future franchise player, it appears, but they've come a long way. They have draft picks. So yeah, to your point, like what is it going to take to get in these, super elite young prospects to help them kind of turn the page? I know some people thought they should have, traded Brian Rust before the season or Ricard Raquel, and maybe they can still move those guys here in season. But, it appeared there was demand for both those guys, and I don't know that their value is going to be any higher than it was this summer. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely think some people around here were kind of looking at it that way. Like, okay, they're obviously rebuilding, but they need to lean into it even more. And that's where the Sid factor comes in. Obviously the Penguins want him to retire a member of the Penguins. And, obviously there was all that speculation that popped up. You wonder if there's pressure from even above Dubas to say, okay, like we can't tear it the whole way down because we got to make sure Sid is happy and wants to stick around and see this through.
Well, that's always going to be the question, right? Is it gonna work or not? So, is it gonna stay? Like, what does your gut tell you? Like, if they miss the playoffs again this year, is eventually he look and say, man, like now I've got the franchise record. I've done 21 seasons in Pittsburgh. I don't think anyone would hold it against him if he wanted to try to make the playoffs again.
Yeah, I mean, the way I would say that, I mean, I'm not going to speak for Sid, and I know he hates the speculation, although his agent brought a lot of it on this summer by the comments he made right before the season. But I would say, like, last summer was the first time I ever thought there was a chance, and maybe even that it was more likely than not that Sid would go somewhere else. I mean, I had always been in the camp that, he was going to stick around and finish his career here. And, when they really kind of even leaned further into the rebuild, they didn't do that much this offseason to improve the team. They let Mike Sullivan go in part because he and Cal Dubas didn't necessarily see eye to eye in terms of the timeline to contend. And you would think that Sid probably sees it the same way as Sullivan. I just started to think that, things might be changing here. That dynamic might be changing now. The team got off to a pretty good start, and they're kind of, they're still in the playoff mix halfway through the year. There's a lot of enthusiasm, some of the young players, and maybe that will kind of change things there. But, June-ish of last year, May maybe, was the first time I started to think, geez, I would not be surprised if he goes somewhere else. And, we'll see what it ultimately comes to. If they miss the playoffs again and it doesn't look like Dubas is ready to hit the gas pedal, maybe we'll see Sid's thinking on his future in Pittsburgh change.
Looking at their goaltending situation, right? They got some young guys coming. They brought in Shilovs. Now they have Stuart Skinner. Tristan Jarry's out. When you look at that trade, what did you make of the trade? And do you think Stuart Skinner signs an extension in Pittsburgh at some point?
Well, the way I looked at it is Cal Dubas did well there was a lot of, people were calling for Cal Dubas to buy out Tristan Jarry this summer or give up an asset to dump his contract. And I never thought that made sense. And Dubas did well to stay patient, and Jarry obviously deserves a lot of credit as well for turning his career around. But I think Dubas saw an opportunity to get out from under that contract and also give a positive future asset in return. So that's how I saw it. I mean, obviously Skinner's coming in, to get him through, at least the next couple of months. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline. I think there's a lot of kind of moving parts, in particular with him. But, they have Sergei Murashov, who was a Ron Hextall draft pick, a right-catching Russian kid who just continues to win and put up crazy numbers at the AHL level. But, he's very young. He's only 21. And he doesn't have a very big body of work there. And they also have another youngster named Joel Blomqvist who hasn't really panned out in his opportunities in the NHL. So, I think they're kind of clearing the deck for maybe one of those guys to come up later in the year or at the start of next year. And I just think, Dubas saw an opportunity to move on from Jarry while he could, get something back and kind of turn his attention towards the future in goal. And, we'll see if it includes Skinner beyond this year.
Young Ben Kindle, 11th overall pick last June. I don't think anybody had him making the Penguins. Well, here he is. You know what? He's got 8 goals, 14 points in 28 games. And with Malkin out, he's kind of like their quasi second line center right now. He's obviously been a huge surprise for the Penguins, but it's hard, man. It's teenager. It's not a teenage league. Like, unless there's, a few freaks like McDavid and Crosby, there's not many teenagers that have success long-term. How has Kindle started? How's he looking?
He's been such a great surprise. I mean, they had a lot of conviction about him. I mean, the Penguins were obviously, it was well documented, they were trying to move up into the top 10 during the draft, and they actually wanted to move up and take Kindle to make sure that they could get him, and ultimately they got him at 11. What really stands out with him is his maturity and his hockey sense. Those two things are what has allowed him to make the team and thrive. You see the way he sees the game. He's had some time with Sidney Crosby. They've had him on the top power play on and off. He sees the game well. He thinks the game well, and that's allowing him to play well. And I know one of the knocks on him was his skating. Those kind of criticisms has gone away. That he has plenty of pace to play in the league. So, yeah, you wonder over the course of an 82-game season if the grind of the game and playing against bigger men is going to catch up to him. But he's a very smart player. He's a very mature kid. His parents were in professional sports, professional soccer, so he kind of has that pro mentality from being around them at a young age. So yeah, he's been a very pleasant surprise. We'll see what his ceiling is. I mean, I think him having this success speaks more to his floor as a player, but it does hint at a higher ceiling as well than maybe we thought with this kid a few months ago.
Looking at Erik Karlsson, and what about Malkin? Let me go back. What about Malkin? He's in the final year of his deal. He had some interesting comments at the start of the year. People were saying, "Oh, it's his last year in Pittsburgh in the NHL." It's like, no, it isn't. Like, he plans on playing again. He's a pending UFA. Does he get dealt now? And because he got off to a great start, unfortunately got injured. But what do you make of Malkin? And maybe hey, I know that Malkin's unreal, and he was very important to that team, no question about it. Is he a guy though that might be easier for the organization to trade than Crosby?
Well, he's got the full no trade clause, so he obviously is going to have some say in this. And you're right. Before the year, he said, I want to keep playing, and he obviously wants to be in Pittsburgh. But he's also a proud guy. He was playing really well before he got injured. He was very productive, and I know there was interest in him last year. I think Florida was one of the teams that was kind of kicking the tires on him, and ultimately, nothing happened there. But, Cal Dubas has said that he will get with Malkin in his camp during the Olympic break. So that's coming up here pretty fast here. And they're going to have a conversation about, how he fits into the organization's future. And, it's not out of the question that, Dubas and the Penguins say, yeah, we're not seeing it beyond this year. And then maybe at that point, Malkin, a proud guy, says, okay, I'm open to being moved now if I'm not a part of the future. So that meeting or those talks or however it plays out are going to really be critical here in terms of what happens with Malkin. But, he was playing really well this year. I mean, he had a couple of down years prior to this year, which is to be expected. The guy's in his late 30s, but he got off to a really good start, and he's obviously hungry and motivated to if this is his last year in Pittsburgh, to make it count on a personal level.
Yeah, for sure. Matt Venzel joins us here on Sports 1440. Brett Kulak's going to play on the third pair in Pittsburgh. There's already people, because, hey, Kulak's been really good in the playoffs. In Edmonton, he's been to 3 Stanley Cup finals with Montreal and Edmonton. He's got a ton of experience. He's only 31 years of age. He would seem like an ideal deadline acquisition for some team if the Penguins are out. Do you think this is a pit stop for Kulak?
It could be. I mean, we've seen them flip guys before. That's been one of the ways that Cal Dubas is, kind of stockpiled all these picks is bringing in guys either via free agency or trade who are on these 1 year, 2 year deals. So, yeah, I mean, they're probably going to see if he can fit in and how he looks there, see if he can maybe be a part of the longer term plan. But yeah, it's not out of the question that either one of these two guys that they acquired from Edmonton could be traded here before the trade deadline, depending on how the team goes and just kind of how things are going around those guys.
Lastly, look at the matchup tonight. Oilers-Penguins. The Penguins obviously reeling after 2 brutal performances. The Oilers were not happy with how they played in Montreal. Edmonton, where the big advantage they have is at center ice. McDavid at this stage of his career is better than Crosby, sure. But that one, even if you want to say it's close, fine. But then you've got the second and third line out against Draisaitl. What do you think the matchup and the strategy is going to be on who matches up against Draisaitl's line tonight?
Yeah, that's a tricky one because they don't really have a solution. I mean, as you mentioned earlier, I mean, you basically have Ben Kindle being your second line center, and I don't know if that's the matchup you're looking for. And then your third line, you have Tommy Novak, who's largely played winger. He's the center. I know they have a lot of confidence in their fourth line, but they have injuries there as well with Blake Lazat out. So the Penguins are really short-handed here. So I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, there's no good solution really other than just like hanging on for dear life. And, I know Edmonton has done really well against Penguins in recent years, although I actually took my son, took a night off last year and took my son to the game when Edmonton played the Penguins. And I was like, oh, yeah, buckle up, buddy. This is probably going to be a blowout win for Edmonton. And it turned out being the other way around. But I still think the Oilers, especially with the injuries down the middle for the Penguins, I just don't really know how they can match up with those two guys. And, I think Edmonton will be able to skate away with the win tonight.
Matt, really appreciate your time. Enjoy the game.
Thank you. Have a good night.
There you go. That's Matt Vanzel from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And I would tend to agree with them. Throw into the fact the Oilers are a little bit annoyed how they played on Sunday night. They want to get the Draisaitl 1,000 point. They'd love to get Tristan Jarry a win against his former team. You know that. And, hey, the Oilers, a lot of good teammates in Kulak and Skinner. But you almost like beating your friends more, right? Like it's bragging rights. But, man, think about siblings. Well, it's called the sibling rivalry, man. You play in that basement, all of a sudden your mini stick game, if you're playing Johnny the neighbor, it's a lot different than if you're playing Bobby your brother. It just is. So I would think the Oilers will be fired up tonight for sure. When we come back, Jason Strudwick will join us. Also, we got some bids in on the month of giving. Dave went in at 8. Trailer Park Ryan's in at 1,000. And now Mike is up to 1,100. So we're rocking and rolling. We're about just over halfway to retail, which is great. 833-401-1440 will tell you what the package is when we return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your New Year's Eve plans just got a major upgrade. On the Rocks is throwing the ultimate party to launch you into the new year with a bang. The legendary Tall Boy is hitting the stage live, providing the soundtrack for an unforgettable night. A 3-course dinner is available to kick things off before the main party starts. This is how you celebrate New Year's Eve. Dinner and a party tickets are available now. Book your spot online at ontherocksyeg.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
I'm Gene Principe, bringing Seasons Heatings from Legacy Heating and Cooling. For Yuletide comfort you'll love this Christmas. You should.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
There's no better way to fix your furnace. You just... They're professional, never rude, Dolph. You should
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Plus, no interest and no prince of payments for 1 year when you buy with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
You're on the teams. Help a good cause. The Ben's Cup is coming to the Ardrossan Recreation Center, December 26th to 30th. 100% of the proceeds help the Ben Stelter Foundation bring proton beam therapy to Edmonton. Learn more at benscup.com. Proudly supported by Sports 1440.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. December is here. Christmas shopping, Christmas wrapping, Christmas baking, grocery shopping. What about our vehicle? Does it need tires? It's not running? No problem. We got you covered. At Northgate GM, we have a tremendous selection of newer used vehicles, winter tires at cost, and of course, service with a smile. Come in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the Center Bar. Plus, catch this fall's biggest games. Every goal, every tackle, every home run. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$329. Trailer Park Ryan's up to $1,500 now in our month of giving package, courtesy today of On the Rocks, our good buddy Dr. Wang and Dave and everyone down there. This is a sick package, man. Kind of coming out of retirement. Well, you know what? I always try to spread it around, and but we had a lot of people. Hey, you gonna do the RTO one again? Yeah, we're doing the OTR one again. So here's what it is. It's a pub party for 10. Okay, that's so there's 10 of you. You each get 10 drinks, you get dinner, you get appetizers. So that's one part. Then you will also have $500 in gift cards, $250 to use it On the Rocks, and another $250 to use at the brand new Druid, which they are opening in the old Mercer, which was right across the street from Rogers Place. That's going to be opened up next week. And so I know that anybody who remembers the Druid on 116th, that it was very unique and had a lot of signs. Well, they put it all in storage because they plan on bringing it back. They found the location. It's coming back. It's going to be great. And you get a pair of seats to the Oilers versus Tampa Bay. Pretty sick game. Lots of future Hall of Famers in that one. So should be fun. And it's after the trade deadline, March 21st. So any new acquisitions you'll get to see in person that night. So Ryan has it currently now at 1,500, and we're helping out Santa's Anonymous today. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. As it's time now to get to Threads On and our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Silent Ice Center, where did you know that, well, maybe you probably knew, but coming up on New Year's Eve, if you're looking to ring in the new year at the Silent Ice Center, you can go see Brett Kissel putting on quite the performance. Of course, he's actually going back on tour this year. We'll be playing at Rogers Place later on this year. He's got a new album coming out. So if you're looking for a way to ring in the new year, get your tickets quick, as it's about 80% sold out. Should be a lot of fun. Good time. I guarantee you one thing. Kiss will be, he'll be wearing a cowboy hat for sure. For sure. Now let's get to Struds Off.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags.
Struds on.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you had me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds on.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds on.
Struddy, how you doing, my man?
Great. How you making out, buddy?
Oh, buddy, I'm pretty good. I still remember. Do you remember your first time when you went to On the Rocks?
Well, I remember being there. Yeah, no, I love that. It's always a good time, right? You never know what you're going to run into.
Yes. Well, to refresh your memory, Struds, it was after our home run hitting contest. And then we went there, and you and Jason Holland, and I remember we were in there, and so Dr. Wang comes over, and we introduced ourselves, and then instantly we were doing a few grenades, and you were like, "What the hell's going on?" I'm like, "Buddy, that's what happens at OTR. You got to spice up quickly."
The doctor knew what we needed.
Yeah, it's true. I love the grenades. God, I miss those days. I like to dial it back. Just one more. Every now and then, it's good to just dial it back, even though the next day might not be worth it. But God, is it ever fun in that time?
In the moment, you feel like you still got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what you want.
Oh.
And you realize the next day you don't, but whatever. It's worth it. Still worth the price.
Totally is. Lots of storylines tonight, Struddy. So you got Kulak and Skinner in one room, and you got Jari in the other room. How much is getting put up on the board tonight?
Oh, man, this is going to help the team fund for sure. You'd always put money up on the board and you're playing your own team. The other guys get involved, usually the captains or the kind of the older guys that slap money up there to get it exciting. But honestly, I think this is a really good thing for both sides. And just for Jari, I guess, specifically for the Oilers, he got his first win, his first start, his first win, his first goal against. Now you're playing your old team. Eventually he's going to get a loss. And I hope that all those things happen before they come back to Edmonton. So when he comes back to Edmonton, he's been with the team for a week. He's got to know the guys, same for Stassi, but I think it's a bigger deal for Jari. A lot of these firsts are over. So when you're coming back, you kind of hit the ground running with your new team. And then for Skinner on the other side, I mean, he was a good Oiler. I think and so is Kulak. Both are really good Oilers.
Yep.
And I think for the case of Kulak, I don't know that they really wanted to move him out. The money had to make sense, and he's the guy out the door. They'll miss him. I think they'll miss his presence on that bottom pairing. But for Skinner, I wanted to work out for him here. I want him to stay. I think that the price of the trade, you lose assets, right? I was hoping it would just be clear, and the Oilers players didn't help him and whatever. But I think it was a little bit like he got off the Green Mile. Now he's off to a new place, way less eyes on him. He's not from there, and I've always said it, man. If your child is from Edmonton or any city, you don't want to play in your home city. There's so much pressure as a young player. I think we saw something similar with Marner in Toronto. So I think it might be a blessing he's off to somewhere else.
Could be right on that for sure. Meanwhile, the Oilers, they're just looking to get back on track. And you know what? Hey, the Penguins are beat up. Like, you look at their center ice, God, it's a great story for Ben Kindle. But you got Ben Kindle or Tommy Jovac. One of those guys are going to have to match up against Draisaitl tonight. That is a mismatch significantly in favor of the Oilers.
Yeah, I've watched some of the last two games for the Penguins, and man, they're scoring, they're able to score, but they can't seem to defend, because in both those games they're up, and then other teams came back pretty abruptly. So you're never out of it against the Pittsburgh Penguins. But I think the Oilers have to just go back to the puck management. Four breakaways. The Montreal Canadiens had 2 by their captain, and gave him a chance. You gave him, what more do you want me to do back here, guys?
Yeah.
So I think get back to the puck management, understanding that where we are we're on the road. And I thought in Montreal, they didn't have to make those plays. They could have just managed the game and just let Montreal kind of self-implode. I think it's a bit the same with Pittsburgh. You don't have to put a show on, make them take risks, make them make bad plays, and capitalize on those mistakes.
Jason Strudwick joins us. Struddy, Ty Emberson, it's really kind of, second year in Edmonton. As a young guy last year, he seems to have become a little bit more physical, and he's not getting hit as much. He still does get hit pretty hard. He's not shy. I'll say this. If he has to make a play to take a hit, he'll do it all day. What have you seen lately from Emerson?
Yeah, you know what? I'll say this, like, as I've seen the stat out there about him taking hits, like, you know, he's a decent sized guy. And I can say when I played, I didn't mind when guys had hit me, especially I just moved the puck, because then they're kind of out of the play. You know, they've come all the way in to hit me. It's out of play. And I wasn't afraid to take a hit. Like, there were very few players, maybe one or two on each team. You're like, boy, this guy could really hurt me with a hit. Now it can wear you down, I guess, but Emerson's not a small guy, not a monster, but I don't think it's really that big a deal as long as you're moving that puck before the guy gets to you. But I do think he's being more aggressive. I think what happens is you start seeing windows of opportunity to hit guys, and when they're kind of vulnerable, or they're not paying attention, or they're kind of in between shifting gears. So I like that, because in San Jose they talked about he was a physical guy, or could be physical, and we've seen more of it. I think he has to keep bringing that out. You know, he needs to find a reason when the Oilers are fully loaded at the back end why he should be played, right? If they can say, well, he's a hitter, he's a banger, without running out of his way to make hits, and he makes plays, now you got something there. But if you're just a guy that makes plays, well, are you better than Stastny? Are you better than Regula? I think that's a hard conversation to have between him and a coach.
Yeah. Jason Strudwick joins us. Struddy, Quinn Hudson comes up. The Oilers' bottom six started the year very well. They had 11 goals in the first 12 games. And now they've hit the ditch with only 7 in their last 21. Last game in Montreal, I actually thought the bottom six, they did. Janmark had one really good chance, but they cycled the puck all right. Quinn Hudson's been lighting it up in the American League. He's going to play with Frederick and Lazar tonight. I'm Chris Novak. I don't care what happens. I got to find a way to get the guy 11 to 13 minutes. What do you think?
Yeah, so he's not getting on the power play, obviously. Probably not getting on the penalty kill. So where do you find those minutes for him? Maybe if he's going, you shoehorn him in there and take someone else out, which isn't always going to be well received by vets. But I think they're getting to a point here that you can kind of say, where are we at? Who's playing well? And I'm going to play that guy more. I think use the carrot rather than the stick of we're going to bench you or scratch you to get guys to play faster in different ways.
At what point do you get concerned about the Jake Wallman injury?
Well, I don't even know what it is. So, I mean, I guess...
Well, I can tell you this. This is what I know, straight. So he blocked a shot, right? They thought it was a deep bone bruise. And now I talked to 2 doctors who admit, hey, all they're going off is if you can have a deep bone bruise, and sometimes when the swelling comes down, you realize that there's a slight little fracture, right? And so that causes pain. It's just, you know what, like he does have a penchant to get injured, right? Like he misses games every year. And so is this a guy who you're like, yeah, we pay. And I guess if he's healthy in the playoffs, you're like, whatever, it's fine. But, you know, it's never great having guys who are historically missed 20 to 25 games every year.
No, it isn't. And so I guess short term, I'm actually I don't have a real problem with it because they're allowing 3 young players to play and they're kind of trying to figure this out on the fly. You know, they have to develop these guys. Two of these 3 D-men have to be here long past a year and a half, and they have to be more than 7 defensemen. They got to become players. They need these guys to play. So I think that's good. The long term, you know, they also need Wallman because he's a better option than all 3 of them. Right now they have top 4D and they have the rest. That's the way this group is made. So now you only have top 3D and the rest. So they do need him to get back 100% healthy, and they need him to get himself in playing shape and contributing and being ready, because as the games get harder as it goes on, I'd much rather have him in my top 4 than one of the other 3 who are trying to find their NHL legs in this first season.
Struddy, how many autographs did you sign last night?
Oh man, that's hard when I have to turn away. I mean, 500-600 kids. I mean, and adults, and I just feel badly. So for everyone who was there, I couldn't sign them all. I don't know if I signed. I don't know how many. 2,000 probably. It was insane. It was like, you guys know I'm not even Wayne Gretzky, right? Made a lot of kids' days and a few mom and dads. Let's be honest. It'll look too close for the picture.
Can someone read your autograph? Like, would they know it's you?
No, but I put my number beside. So I put 40. So let's say I write it to Connor. I like to Connor, exclamation mark, Merry Christmas. J Strudwick, and then 43, so they know who it is, right? But it's on my card, like my face is on the card, so you can see it. And let's be honest, they're coming there for the interaction, the face-to-face, right? That's what they're trying to see. They want to see what a model looks like in the flesh.
Oh, who else was there with you last night?
Just me, buddy, just me, and some great security guards who, like, their job is hard. Like, I know that Connor, when he goes to the mall, he's probably, pretty busy, but imagine that on steroids, getting these cards signed. Big rush.
Oh, unbelievable. I can't believe you didn't practice your signature. Like, remember Gordie Howe, he said, hey, if people are going to take the time to line up, I need to make my signature that's readable. So you know what? Maybe you should go home and practice for next year when you have 2,000 people that they're going to know who it is.
And that's fair. But did Gordie give pretty intimate pictures of people? I don't think Gordie was doing that. There weren't cell phones back then, Gordon.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, Struddy. Struddy, although I haven't seen his autograph, and I haven't, it's pretty damn legible, just so you know. I have it on my wall, actually. So, yeah, it is. I can see it's pretty clear. Because, you know what? I tried. Because now, the only time I'm signing signatures, obviously, is on, paperwork and stuff. But I've tried to go slower and I can't do it. Like, I can't make it overly legible. Like, so I don't know how someone would ever do one where they had to, like, sign a lot of autographs. Like, good penmanship's awesome. I just don't have it.
No, I don't. And I don't know. I honestly think I should be a lefty when I like on the right, but I wasn't allowed to do that when I was growing up. So I'm a righty and I can't even read my writing. But I think it makes sense because doctors, they can't read their own handwriting. So, I think that's another thing, other than the pre-med, my handwriting is so poor that I could have been a doctor as well. So I could be checking you out right now. We could be having a physical right now. I'd be checking you out.
Let's not kid ourselves, Freddie.
Big hands.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Small gloves, though. That's what's weird about it. What's weird about it. Freddie, have a good one, buddy. We'll see you Friday.
Yeah. See you guys.
There you go. That's Jason Strudwick. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Quick break. Hey, Greg's just Struds knows the Christmas ornament line was bigger. Oh, love it. Love it. We'll take a quick break. We'll turn month of giving. 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hold up. Are you pulling my beard? Booster Juice has 2 new booster balls for the holidays this year.
That's right, Santa. The Eggnog Booster Ball and Caramel Pecan Pie Booster Ball are 2 new flavors to put some extra jingle in your step. So are you a pie guy, Santa, or a nog guy?
Both!
Good call. That's extra jolly. Happy holidays from your friends at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder with over $3 million raised for local charities. And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. But this, you can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
The Hockey Super League is proud to launch its 9th season, delivering independent, borderless hockey. This year, over 125 teams will compete across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and for the first time ever, Colorado, USA, which showcase style action, cross-province rivalries, and a strong commitment to player development. The HSL is the premier destination for families seeking balance and athletes chasing the next level. The Hockey Super League. Hockey without limits. For athletes born in 2013 to 2018, visit hockeysuperleague.com to learn more. He's heading into the driveway. Temperature's dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
$3:49. Welcome back. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It is a big Tuesday night. Could see Draisaitl. And oh, by the way, Draisaitl scores a point tonight, which I fully expect them to. The Edmonton Oilers will become the first franchise in NHL history to have 5 players score their 1,000 points with the team, right? Gretzky did it, Curry did it, Messier did it, McDavid did it. They all had 1,000 points as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. So pretty impressive, shall we say? Pretty impressive. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, and Boxing Week Blowout is on right now. You can save up to $1,000 off sectionals. You can get 25% off bedroom and dining and 40% off mattresses at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1, bold prediction, Oilers and Penguins tonight. Also, got to get a score prediction.
Well, I don't think it's that bold. I just think Edmonton's a better team than Pittsburgh. The Oilers have been up and down, and they were down last game, so I think they will be up this game. And I will say the Oilers win. Penguins have been giving up a lot of goals lately, but I'll say 4-2.
Dang, that was the score I had. I'm with you. I think the Oilers get the job done here tonight, as you said, the up and down and the lack of depth for the Penguins down the middle. I think that's a big advantage for the Oilers, and both sides should be motivated. I'll take the Oilers win 5-2 with an empty netter, and let's say 2 for McDavid, 1 being the empty netter. Oh, that's tough though, because he'll probably pass it up. Anyways, I'm rolling with it. Question number 2 for you: what are the odds Stuart Skinner re-signs with the Penguins, in your opinion?
Well, that's a good question. I hear them we got these young goalies, but is your young goalie ready to be the starter? Right? If they have a young goalie, they want him to be the backup. Maybe at best split. So I don't know. Did they think Shelovs is better than Skinner? Nah. No, and honestly, it's not like they have a money problem. They don't. Carlson's got 1 year left in his deal. They don't have a lot of high end prospects. They're going to be due huge raises, so they're going to have to get to the floor. So, yeah, I think Stuart Skinner will resign in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
which will probably not be great because it's not going to be a good team for a while.
And that's what I was thinking. Like, I hope he takes a look around, first chance to be a free agent. I hope he tests the water and see what's out there. And I think maybe he wants to stay with a competitive team. So I'll put it 50-50. What are the odds? 50-50. I think, maybe he really enjoys it there and has a good time. But I think the temptation of playing on a contender might be there. Question number 3 for you. You've got that rare game where both goalies could be wearing the opposing team's colors on their mask. I don't think we've ever seen that. In honor of it, what is your favorite goalie mask of all time?
Ooh, probably Cujo from Curtis Joseph. He had some sweet ones. The one he had in St. Louis was pretty awesome. Edmonton was okay, but I'm going to go with his original Cujo in St. Louis.
Yeah, it's tough to beat that one for sure. The artwork he put into it was awesome.
But I guess if I went like the Gary Cheevers ones from all time were pretty sick, man. Like I was in the Hall of Fame, and I actually took a bunch of pictures on my phone, and I was like, God, these are unreal. Like so good. Like you look at the like those back in the day, like before they have the mask now, like they're just more safer. Like the guys used to wear the mask, it was right close up to their face. Like some of them were they were stunning, man. Like I loved them. Like do you ever remember Kurt Ridley's with the Canucks? That was a pretty sick one. I'm sure it was Gary Cheevers who had all the scars. That one looked unbelievable. Gary Desjardins had a sick one. I don't know if you ever looked it up, Cons, with the Sabres. That's another one that's pretty sweet. I should go on my phone because I had quite a few of them to look at. But yeah, those are some good ones.
I will say I was at the Hockey Hall of Fame a few years ago. It's very similar. Like that was probably my favorite section or wing, just because they had the history of the mask and how it's changed, and then the intricate design. I always liked John Van Beesbroek. Very kind of similar to Curtis Joseph with the Panther, at least. Richter with the Statue of Liberty was cool. And Tristan Jarry with Tom and Jerry on the cage when he was with the Oil Kings was a cool one too. Question number 4 for you. Who's your pick to win the NBA Cup final between the Knicks and Spurs with $500,000 on the line?
I'll take the Spurs with the big man.
I'm going to take the Knicks. I think, you got to find a meaningful game. The Knicks want to get over that hump in the Eastern Conference. Time to lock in and take these things seriously. I'll go with New York to get the job done. And final question for you. It is National Chocolate Covered Everything Day, apparently. Keep it PG. What's the best thing to cover in chocolate?
Keep it PG.
Family show.
Best thing to cover in chocolate. Ooh, what is that? Good question. I'm gonna say cake.
Good pick.
Chocolate icing is one of my favorite things.
I like ice cream, but to simplify it, why don't I just say peanut butter? I love Reese's peanut butter cups, which is just chocolate covered peanut butter. So yeah, let's take that route for this one.
Chocolate covered strawberries are very good.
Yeah.
I do actually like the chocolate covered blueberries, right? For a snack. They're very good.
Almonds.
Like it's hard. Like I'm trying to think I'm sure you put chocolate almost on anything. Like even I'm thinking I put chocolate on broccoli. I don't mind broccoli on its own. I put chocolate on it, I'm probably gonna like it better. I might not love it, but it would add some different. Now chocolate on a pizza, can't say if I've ever had it. There's certain things that just like chocolate on steak. No, it's not going to be good. So you can't say everything, but there's a lot of things where it would be pretty good.
Yeah. Pretzels, raisins, even Stu
strawberries.
Strawberries.
So good. Well, even when you get those fruit towers, and then you got the chocolate tower, and then you just dip your fruit in it. Oh, so good. Yeah, take those as well. I like it. Struddy would say salty nuts probably, but hey, what are we doing there? So we'll see.
Not talking the ones where they leave them out in the bar. Not those ones.
No. I'm talking classy. Classy. We got a lot. Hey guys, Marty Brodeurs had some pretty sweet masks. Hey guys, what about Roman Turk, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast? That was good. Yeah. The other one was now there's debate. Some thought it was a lion. Gilles Graton said it was a tiger. I don't know, Cons. You should look up Gilles Graton, and go look up his tiger/lion mask. Unreal. Have you seen it?
I see it right now.
Like, dude, And have you seen the Gary Cheevers ones that has like the scars on it?
See, I don't know if it was just like playground lore, but we thought it was every time a puck hit him in the face, he added another one. I don't know if that's true or not.
I have read that story. Yes, that was part of it.
Maybe we just made it. Yeah.
No, that was part of it.
That's really cool. I like that idea.
Oh, my buddy, it looks so awesome.
What about the one with was it a snake on it right in the middle?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember who it was who had that. God, that is a pretty good one. Eddie the Eagle. Remember when he had the eagle on his mask?
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty good one, too.
Because he would just like any team, just throw the different color scheme up there. It looks good.
It's true. Yeah.
The snake one was Gary Simmons.
That's who it was. Yeah. Have you looked at go look at that? Have you found the Gary Desjardins mask? I try to find it because man, it was like the masks were just so different back then than they seem, like totally different. Young people could just go look them up and say, what, they played with those things? Yeah. But go look up Jerry Desjardins mask in Buffalo, buddy. It was really long, a little bit longer than most, and God, it looked unreal. Maybe my memory's off on it, but I love that mask. Well, so good.
Oh yeah, it was long.
Yeah. So it was great. Yeah. And the stitches that it's hard to beat the stitches though, man. That is a pretty sweet one. He would add stitches every time he took a shot to the melon. So I think it started in practice, if I'm not mistaken. So, because ask any shooter out there, you can tell, hey guys, don't hit your goalie in mask. 5 minutes into practice, ringing one off his melon. I'm like, what are you doing? All it would take is, you know what? Now you're going to stay in and we're going to shoot at your head once. And then I think it would stop. All of a sudden they'd be like, I'm not hitting him in the head anymore. Probably should do that. I should ask goalies, like, what would be a good punishment for your teammates who continually hit you in the head with shots? And I'm being serious. Like, what would be a valid, like, why not put them in the net themselves? That's what I think. And that'd be bad. 348. 58. Coming up, we got Mark Spector. Then we're going to do our draw for the low seats, courtesy of Wilhock Beef Jerky. That'll be fun. We also have our month of giving package. We'll update you on that, courtesy of OTR. Currently, Ryan has it at 1,500 bones. It's a really good deal, man. Really good deal. You're going to have a low. Only if you like fun, though. If you're a fun sponge, don't vote. Don't bid, excuse me, because you won't like it. It'll be way too much fun. Dr. Wang and the gang at OTR and the new Druid Oilers game. It's all party pack and more. We'll tell you about it after Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. As right now, wish and win. Stop in and you could win up to $25,000 purchase of your new vehicle. Guaranteed $500 off. How? You have to stop in and find out. Wish and win at Northgate GM.
The Sports 1440 update.
It's game day as the Edmonton Oilers out in Pittsburgh taking on the Penguins. Puck drop 5:30. Our pregame coverage with Jason Gregor, myself, and Kevin Carey gets going at 4:30 right here on Sports 1440. Elsewhere, Mammoth taking on the Bruins. Leafs host the Hawks. You got the Islanders and the Red Wings. Rangers up against the Canucks. Ducks in Columbus. Sharks host the Flames. And the Avalanche taking on the Kraken. In the Association NBA Cup Championship game from Vegas, Knicks and Spurs, that gets going at 6:30. $500,000 on the line in the WHL. Oil Kings in Lethbridge at 7. AJ got Whiteport getting past Devon 4-3 earlier today. Tonight you have the Storm in Drumheller and Calgary hosting Fort Mac. PWHL Ottawa Charge in Vancouver. That gets going just after 8. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and get to our pregame coverage. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the Power Play 24/7 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all sevens. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vinny and Donnan have to offer. Visit vinnyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It's Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza when you use code word 40Tuesday at the start of each pizza order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.405. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And Doug, who just saved us, Cons, because I had texted our 10 entries for the low sheet, courtesy of Wilhock Beef Jerky. Said, do you guys want to be first name out or last and do a reverse draw? And we were sitting with 5 firsts and 4 lasts. And Doug had the final vote. And he came in first. So they'll just do first name out's going to win. That's coming up in about 20 minutes time. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. We continue on Month of Giving. We have a good day. We'd like to get this up. We got some time. The OTR package. Take a few years off, but now it's back with vengeance, even bigger than before. I love it. So it's a party pack from On the Rocks. So going to come, you get $500 in gift cards. Boom, right off the hop. That's going to give you $250 at OTR and $250 to use at the brand new Druid that opens up across from Rogers for the Mercer. So you can go there anytime. You know what? It's going to be awesome. You'll also have a pair of seats to the Oilers-Tampa Bay game on the 21st of March. All right? And you get the pub party for 10 at OTR. So you walk in, you're going to have a reserved table. You book it in advance anytime you want. Friday, Saturday night, it's totally fine. You get your table. You have appetizers. You have entrees. You have 4 drinks per person. And you get a little extra TLC from Dr. Wang that night. I can tell you that from people in the past, you'll have good times. Good times. And hey, depending on what day it is, you never know. You can stop by. That's what's great about OTR. So currently, Ryan has it at a pretty big steal at $1,500. So let's get that up a little bit. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can text us in our email inbox as it is time to go out to Pittsburgh, where the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Penguins tonight. Oilers have won 4 of their last 5 games in Pittsburgh, but did lose last year 5-3. They will try to bounce back after a sloppy performance on Sunday against the Montreal Canadiens, which saw them give up 4 different breakaways. Funny enough, Calvin Pickard stopped them all, but they had too many other giveaways, and they lose the game 4-1. So they'll try to rebound tonight as we get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. They lay new pipelines, install new sewer and water systems, while also rehabilitating existing infrastructure to prevent critical issues. That is GS Construction, as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us in Pittsburgh. Spec, how you doing?
Doing okay. Can you hear me in there? I'm trying a new system here, man.
I can hear you. Yes. Yeah, wow. I can see you. You got your tie is on straight right now. Holy cow,
baby.
He must have tied up. So that's fantastic.
Iron shirt too, baby.
Oh,
Iron
there
shirt.
you go. Those like there's starch in it. I like it. Let's start with Stu Skinner and Brett Kulak. Skinner had mentioned, hey, I've heard rumors for a while. I've heard some people spec this guy. Skinner asked for a trade. Had you heard anything like that?
No.
No,
I've not heard anything like that.
No. Doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but I haven't heard that yet.
No, not at all. I mean, and in my dealings with him today, I had a nice long chat on, part of a big scrum with him today. And then I went back and we had a 5-minute shoot the breeze conversation while he was loading up his hockey bag. And I did not in any way get the impression that he was relieved to be out of Edmonton, nor is he grieving and, a ruined man or anything. He's looking forward, like he's the ultimate glass. You've interviewed him a million times. Stu Skinner is the ultimate glass half full guy. He would let in 2 bad goals and find a positive out of that somehow. And even though it seemed crazy at the time, you got to admire him for it, because if you don't, it ruins you. And he finds a lot of positives out of this trade. He's looking forward to his time here, and he's moving on with his life like he should. But no, I do not get the impression that he was pining to leave Edmonton in any way.
No. Do you think he re-signs in Pittsburgh?
Well, that's a good question, and a fairer question. I mean, the kid they have, what's his name? Murashov?
Yeah.
Is that correct? I got him right. Murashov. He's down.
Yeah.
He's their goalie of the future here, for sure. So there's a few things. Will Kyle Dubas decide that next season it's going to be enough to have Murashov and Shilovs together, or Murashov and some other backup? Does he feel like Murashov needs a guy that's as far along in his career as Skinner? Because Skinner's going to take a lot. If you keep Skinner, he's going to take a lot of playing time away from Murashov. If you're going to keep Skinner, you got to sign him as a UFA, Jay. And what do you think he's going to make? Is he not going to make $6 million?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe 5.5, somewhere around there.
Okay. I mean, I'll tell you what, if I'm his agent and I get onto the negotiating table with as many playoff series as he's won, and I lay that number up against a bunch of other guys across the league who haven't won anywhere close to the amount of playoff games that I've won, I'm telling you what, I think he's getting 6 or 7, but that's just me.
Okay. The thing about Murashov is he's only 21, right? He hasn't played a ton of hockey. He played 16 games last year in the ECHL. Then he played 16 in the AHL, and he played 11 this year. Now, his 11 games this year were awesome. He was 8-2, and he had a .943 save percentage. It's 11 games, right? He's played 5 in the NHL. So even if you look at last year to this year, he's played a grand total of, under 60 games. Are you ready to want to bring him up. Like when you say, I'll take some starts, that's what he should do, right? Like you should have a starter who plays maybe 55, and this guy comes as a young guy and plays 27. And then if the next year he keeps rolling, then he's up to 41 and it's 41. It's to me, that's the wise thing, because goaltending is hard, and it's even harder once teams get a scouting report on you, right?
No,
So,
and
maybe
you never know.
Sheloff is the guy, and maybe they're like, hey, we'll take Sheloff to be the backup. But the other thing is here, Spec, like the cap's going up, which means the floor is going up. And the Penguins, you're going to have to get to the floor, right? Like Malkin's leaving. And a year after that, Carlson's leaving, right? So where's their money coming from? Because it's not like they got some young guys who are all 1 year away from hitting it big on a contract extension.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I guess I'd say to you, the history tells us if you have the money, you can always find a place to spend it. Like you'll find guys around the league come play for you. So my only question, like I'm playing Kyle Dubas now, and I'm looking at Mershov, and I'm saying, okay, I think I agree with you. I want a guy that can, possibly play 45 games next year, and Mershov plays 30. But if I sign a UFA at 27 years old, which is exactly, Skinner's 27, he'll be 27 on July 1st. Stu Skinner's going to try to sign and want to sign like a 5 or 6 year deal with somebody. I think. Now, I don't think I want an expensive 5 or 6 year deal to play with Mershov. I want like a Stu Skinner for 2 years to play with Mershov, and then I want him gone, and I want Mershov playing all the games, and I want a cheap backup behind him. So I hear what you're saying, but I also think Skinner just might not be in the right place at the right time to remain a Penguin. I guess that's what I'm trying to tell you. If some other team says, you know what, we'll take that guy, we'll give him a 5 year deal, he'll go somewhere else. That would be my prediction.
Yeah, I was looking at guys' contracts next year, Spec. Lucas Dostal is 6.5, Gibson 6.4, Aiden Hill 6.2, Binnington and Markstrom 6, Grubauer 5.9, Logan Thompson 5.8, Spencer Knight 5.8, Merzlikins 5.4. Tristan Jarry currently is the 21st highest paid goalie for next season at 5.375. Like the goalie position, Shesterkin obviously just got a pretty big cap hit, but that's significant. There's just not a lot of guys, that it's going up significantly. I could see Skinner coming around, maybe year 6 is probably right. I don't know if he gets as high as 7, but
well, he's certainly the same goalie as a lot of those guys you just listed, making 6. Yeah. He's right in with those guys, and if the cap's going up, that 6 is going to turn into 6.5 or 7. So, you just listed a bunch of guys. I mean, I'm not including Shesterkin in this. He's obviously the best of the group, but a bunch, all those Merzlikins and at this point Dostal and those guys, they're not better than Skinner, and they certainly are not. They don't have more playoff experience, and they have not produced in the playoffs the way Skinner has.
Mark Spector joins us. Spec, looking at the Oilers, and what's your expectations? You talk to Chris Knobloch. You bring up the young kid. Well, not that young, but it's third in the AHL in goals. And Quinn Hudson is going to play with to start anyway with Frederick and Curtis Lazar. And their bottom 6 actually started very well with 11 goals in the 12 games in October, and they've hit the skid since with 7 in 21. Now the Oilers as a group are still 6th most goals amongst forwards, 3rd most goals amongst the team. So offense still isn't a problem overall in Edmonton, but you'd like their bottom 6 guys to kind of wake up here and get a pulse. You think Quinn Hudson finds a way to play more than 11 minutes, and you think we'll see him get some shifts with some more offensive-minded guys?
Well, we have watched this movie a lot of times over a lot of years. The guy from the farm who's scoring a bunch of goals gets called up based on his offensive, work and the great job he's done, and they put him on the 4th line and play him 8 minutes and go, oh, man, well, he scored in the AHL, but he can't score here. Well, yeah, no kidding. So I hope we're not watching that movie again. I mean, me, Jay. Listeners know me. I am the opposite of the guy that says bring up a kid and play with McDavid right away. I am not that guy. But, geez, you could probably, if I'm making this lineup tonight, to me, Janmark's the 4th line player all day long on a good team. When this team has everyone and when it's playoff time and all that stuff, Janmark's the 4th line player. I'm knocking the Janmark down and putting Hudson up, to start the game if I'm making the line. So let's hope that Hudson gets at least some shifts with Henrique. And, possibly, I don't know. I'm not sure how he makes it onto the top two lines because they're going pretty good right now. But, if he's going to play 7 or 8 minutes, is there really any point here?
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And so that's what I'm wondering. And it is, I know Roslovic's probably a week away. Maybe he gets in that Vegas game. We'll see. But I look at some of these guys here, Spec, and just, the competition's starting to heat up. The one thing I find interesting is Tomasic's got 2 goals in 11 games, right, since November 1st. That's double anybody else in the bottom 6. Frederick 1 in 21, Mangiapane 1 in 21, Henrik 0 in 21, Janmark 1 in 17, Lazar 1 in 15.
Wow.
Why can't Tomasic play ahead of some of these guys who can't score in the Ocean?
Oh boy, that's a fair question, my friend. I guess I'm going to extrapolate on that and say, when's the next guy in the press box going to be named Mangiapane or Frederick? When's that? When is it their turn to get the shakeup? Because they keep flip-flopping those guys on left wing. Now Mangiapane moves up, Frederick moves down, but neither guy's got a thing done this season. So, we expect from Lazar, he's what he is, man. He's a 13th forward. He's a sturdy fourth line guy that comes in and out of the lineup. We all know what Janmark is. We accept the fact he's not scoring much during the season, but he kills your penalties. He's got good speed. He's a killer veteran in the playoffs. I'm okay with Janmark on my team every day. But Mangiapane and Frederick are supposed to be making a dent here offensively. They're supposed to score up on the score sheet. They both signed deals this summer. They're both supposed to be middle 6 players. They're both producing like fourth line players. So to me, the next shakeup comes, one of those guys sits out. And, let's make this a merit-based decision. And you're right. I guess Tomasic should play ahead of those 2 guys because he's produced ahead of those 2 guys.
Yeah, at the end of the day, at some point, production's got to mean something, right? I haven't seen Tomasic making glaring defensive giveaways that would lead him to the press box by any stretch of the imagination. So, and I actually liked that game. He went to the net hard, and you know what? I'm like, I don't mind Tomasic when he gets in there. He's not a difference maker, but God, compared to the lack of nothing, and I understand the politics spec. I get, hey, these guys got bigger contracts, yada yada yada. But hey, at some point, you got to produce. Guess what? The Connor Brown sat out for 2 games in the first year of his deal when he's making $4 million because he wasn't playing well. So at some point, same thing might have to happen.
Well, I mean, it is. The coaches don't look at it the way the fans and us media guys do. I look at Bouchard, that game in Montreal, he was horrible. And didn't he play 28 and a half minutes? He played half the game and he was horrible. He was horrible. But they were behind and they wanted him to play, and the coach plays in 28 minutes. So it isn't a merit-based society that we're dealing with here. I guess that's the place to start, Jay. It's not what we think it is. There's a whole bunch of other factors going into this thing. And I've only been around for a really long time, and I don't have it figured out yet, so maybe you can.
Yeah, well, I look at Bouchard, name a guy who was good against Montreal. That would be
but whatever. We're just deflecting now.
No. The difference is Bouchard for since November 1st, Bouchard's had a lot of really good games. I'm not sitting him down because of that. Mangiapane and Frederick have sucked for 2 months. It's a totally different conversation.
They're not the same guy. But I'm not saying sit Bouchard down. I'm just saying the worse he plays, the more he plays. That's the inversion here. 28 and a half minutes is a lot of minutes for the best player on your team. It's pretty weird for me to see the guy that's the most glaring defenseman in that particular night log 28 and a half. I'm sorry, I don't get it, but I guess I don't get some things.
But it also came. Look at the shift sheet. He had 6 of the last 7 minutes when they pulled their goalie. He was on the ice, right?
Yeah, so I know, whatever.
Factor, but I just look at their bottom 6, and some guys got to get a pulse here soon.
Yep, that is so fair.
Once Roslovic and Kapanen come back, there'll be no choice. Those guys will be either down the lineup further or out of the lineup at that point. Lastly, Spec, Sidney Crosby is he can tie Mario Lemieux with 2 points. He can pass him for most points in franchise history at 1,724. A 3-point night tonight would be hard. The orders, well, I guess depends which order team shows up.
Sid Crosby, man. Sid Crosby, you can get 3 points tonight.
Yeah, but against McDavid, not really. The orders McDavid has dominated Crosby head to head here the last few seasons. And then Spec, you look at the second line, no Malkin tonight. Leon Draisaitl should feast on this matchup between Tommy Novak or Ben Kindle.
Yeah, they really like Ben Kindle, by the way, here. He's been a huge surprise. He's like 19 and should be playing junior. He's better than anyone thought he'd be. I think he's a BC kid, played for the Hitmen, right? But having said that, he's not Leon Draisaitl, who's got 30 years old and a decade in the league, and he's at 1,000 points. I mean, don't say I'm making a comparison here. Edmonton, to my eye, Edmonton has dominated Pittsburgh for like the last 4 or 5 years because they've been way faster. They play faster. They skate faster. As we've watched Pittsburgh go from a Stanley Cup contender to, kind of whatever they are now, a fringe playoff team, I would say, they've slowed down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And God bless Sid. Like, you won't ever hear a bad word out of my mouth when it comes to Sid Crosby. But putting, that's kind of like putting an Indy car from, 2005 up against Connor McDavid, who's an Indy car from 2026. They just build them faster now. So it is a task for Sid Crosby, as great as he is, and he is great. It's a task to lean him up against McDavid every shift. And I think if you look at the stats in the last 8 or 10 meetings, it bears that out, doesn't it?
Yeah. 100% it does. And that's why, this is a game the Oilers should win, no question. I would think now doesn't mean they will, because we've seen a little side from them. One last one for you on the I hear ticket prices are up because it's a big game. People are in Pittsburgh are pretty excited about this. What Crosby could mean to Lemieux, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Going back to the Oilers, and the one thing, Spec, in the last 3 weeks here, Connor McDavid's like the turbo button has been pressed a lot more frequently.
Oh boy, has he been good, right? And when he's good, the Oilers are good. Like he's playing his best. He didn't produce, like there wasn't points against Montreal. I think he had 1 point, but it wasn't going in. But even in that game, he was skating like crazy. So yeah, he's taken it upon himself after a brutal start for the team and not a great start for Connor. Right? He wasn't great in October, November, first half of November, not at all. He's really said, okay, I'm going to lead this team with my play. And to a large extent, this team has followed. Draisaitl's line's fallen into play. The defense is playing so much better. The goaltending picked it up. So, but he's like peak Connor McDavid right now. And it's every night. It's so much fun to watch. That game in Toronto, man, like that was just, like the first time he burned Riley on that one play, whatever that was, 5-6 years ago. That goal he scored where he walked through the 4 players. I mean, I'll never forget the goal, but what I'll never forget is the 18,000 people all inhaling at the same time, like gasping as he sped up. When he hit the speed button, that crowd in Toronto, everyone just was like, oh, it was unbelievable. Like you could hear it in the press box. And then when he scored, there was a murmur around that crowd like, holy man, did you just see what I saw? So it's cool when he's this good. It's a pleasure being around him.
Spec, enjoy the game tonight. Should be lots of storylines to look for.
You bet, man. Enjoy.
It's Mark Spector. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We have the pregame show coming up here momentarily, but before we get to that, we have our draw. Cons, why don't you come and do the draw here? I got the box here for the Loge courtesy of Will Hawk beef jerky, and we voted because we're going to do a reverse or first, and the 10 entries decided it was 6-4. They wanted to go first. So Cons, I'll let you reach your hand in and you can pick the lucky winner today. And there you go. Cons has it out, and it is Fast Freddy. Fred S was the winner, just in case anybody, not that we would ever ring anything, but just here you go. John, your name was in. Thurman, your name was in. Rob P. Kyle. Doug. Wes. Cody F. Scott H. And AJ. So thank you very much for helping out. And we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the pregame show and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. What's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day, and see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
As 2025 comes to a close, GS Construction would like to take the time and thank our crews, our partners, and our communities for another successful year of teamwork and growth. Together, we've helped keep Edmonton and the surrounding area moving by building and maintaining the underground infrastructure that keeps everything running smoothly. It's been another year of dedication, pride, and hard work the team has put in to make it all possible. To learn more about our people and our projects, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right. So Santa called up his pals at Legacy Heating. Ho, 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 golly gee, 1 year, no payments, interest-free. And the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa Service Department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
It's the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Edmonton's only 24/7 sports station, Sports 1440.
.430, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca as we get to the Titan Supply pregame show. Your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca. A reminder for everyone, we still are doing month of giving, and it's currently it's at a pretty big steal here at $1,500 with Ryan to have the party pack courtesy of On the Rocks. You get a pair of seats to the Oilers game March 21st against the Lightning. You're going to get $500 in GCs, $250 from On the Rocks and $250 from the new place, the Druid, which opens up next week in the old Mercer building right across the street from Rogers. And you'll have a pub party for 10. Which is, of course, dinner, appetizers, 4 drinks per person, and a little extra TLC from Dr. Wang that night. So whether it's for your staff or your friends, you're just looking for a fun night out, that's what it's going to be. So go on in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. The Edmonton Oilers are in Pittsburgh tonight to take on the Penguins. There will be, let's hear quickly from, actually, let's get to the lineups brought to you by Nisku Ford. All this month, get rates as low as 0% or choose rebates as high as $10,000. Details at niskuford.ca. The Edmonton Oilers, a few lineup changes from last game. They will start, of course, with Connor McDavid, centering Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. They will have Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Matt Savoy. Lazar between Hudson and Frederick. So Hudson is in, Jones is out. Henrique, Mangiapane, and Janmark. On the back end, the same. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Regula, Stastny, Emerson. And Tristan Jarry draws in after Calvin Pickard played the second half of the back-to-back games on the weekends. Meanwhile, the Penguins, Crosby with Raquel and Rust. Then you've got rookie Ben Kindle with Brazeau and McGroarty. Novak between Mantha and Hayes. Danton Heinen with Noel Achari and Connor Dewar on their fourth line. Then you got Wotherspoon with Carlson, Shea and Letang. Kulak, that's Brett, playing his first game for the Penguins with Saint Evani. And then in goal, Stuart Skinner. Jenny Malkin has not played since December 4th and likely not to play this week, probably not back even before Christmas for the Penguins. Penguins, of course, this past weekend blew a 5-1 lead on Saturday to San Jose in the third period, lost 6-5 in overtime. On Sunday, they storm out to a 3-0 lead against Utah and then blow it and lose 5-4 in overtime. The Oilers had a good Saturday, very solid game in Toronto, 6-3 win, and then were frankly terrible against the Montreal Canadiens on Sunday, losing 4-1, giving up 4 breakaways, had multiple turnover, 20 turnovers / giveaways in the game. It was not a pretty performance. So we'll see. Quinn Hudson got the recall. I think that's a little bit of a message. Hey, they're rewarding him for his play in the American League with 16 goals, 28 points in 24 games. They are also looking at their bottom 6 and saying, hey, fellas, Bueller, anybody? Does anybody want to score? Because their top 6 started well. Bottom 6 started well with 11 goals in the first 12 games. So now they only have 7 and 21 since. And out of that 7, 1's from Connor Clattenburg and 2's from David Tomasic. And they're not even in the lineup tonight. I think it's fair to wonder, like, why is Tomasic getting healthy scratched 10 times? And these other guys are playing every game. They don't have goals. Like, you know what? I didn't know it was that much of a discrepancy till I looked it up this morning. And so when they return, it's definitely a question for Knobloch. Like, what are you not seeing from Tomasic that you're seeing from the other guys? That'd be my question. Because, Cons, is there anything that you see that say, oh, well, yeah, this is what Tomasic's not doing, and these other guys are doing better?
No, not really. And I mean, like, your thought, especially with Trent Frederick, with what we've heard, you're thinking, okay, at least some physicality out there, but you haven't seen that aspect of his game. No, it's a really interesting stat that you pulled up there. I'd love to hear Chris Knobloch's response to it, because it is a little bit confusing when, you have essentially guys doing nothing and just no consequences at all to it. Maybe he has high expectations and thinks they're going to find their own game, but if that hasn't happened yet, we're getting close to Christmas. When is it going to start happening? Maybe you need a little bit of motivation, and playing time is the ultimate one.
833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text us. Konzi comes in, hey guys, McDavid's plus minus is horrible. His defensive play is horrible. Well, I think you might be overreacting to a tough October. McDavid in the last 5 seasons, the only forward with a better plus minus is Nathan McKinnon. McDavid's at plus 126. And anybody who's watched the games, McDavid's found a stride. His last 10 games, he's plus 7. So, yeah, they were off to a bad start early on. He was part of it, no question. Lots of giveaways from the team, everything else. But if you think McDavid's the big problem, pay attention. I wouldn't. On the list of, if you could have 50 problems for the Oilers, McDavid wouldn't be in my top 50. Okay, so we shall see. Hey, Greggs, do you think Danault would be a fit for the third line center? Yeah, I saw that report that came out today that Phil Danault has allegedly asked for a trade. Now, his agent, Alan Walsh, quickly jumped and said, "You didn't call and reach out to me." So the attention-seeking reporting. Now, he didn't say he didn't say it, though, Cons. He just said, "You didn't reach out to me," which maybe he's saying it without saying it, but we'll see. So do I think the Kings would trade Phil Danault to the Edmonton Oilers? I do not. But now, Phil Danault is a little different than Rantanen. But remember, where did Rantanen end up? In the same division that he left. Now, they went to Carolina. He wouldn't sign there. So if a team traded for Phil Danault now, would they be that worried about him not re-signing? Right? It's not like he's a huge contract offer. It's not like you're going to have to give up a ton to get him. So it's a different scenario. But I would say very low chance that Danault's here. The Oilers' third line center is on the team. It's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Like, look around. What is the one thing teams are looking for? we need a center. Go down the list of other teams. There are lots of them are looking to improve the center ice position. The Oilers aren't. The Oilers got McDavid and Draisaitl. It's the best 1-2 punch in the league, no question. You put Nugent-Hopkins as a third-line center. There's lots of teams you'd look and say, "Hey, we'll take Nugent-Hopkins as our third-line center." Now, he can switch at times and play on your top-line left wing, but he's not a top-line left wing. If you're looking for goals, he's not a goal producer 5-on-5 on your first line as a left winger. He just isn't, and that's okay. But I would look at the Oilers, and when everybody's healthy, I would play Nugent-Hopkins as my third-line center. I would have Jack Roslovic in my top 6. I could have Kapanen on my third line. And the other guys, it's like who finds their game. Like Trent Frederick should be the other guy in the third line. He figures out his game. Then the other question is, can they acquire a top 6 shooter? Because that's what I still think they need. Now, the problem is there's not a lot of them out there. If Alex Tuch doesn't get traded, who are the other options around the league as far as a top 6 guy? Because if I'm going quickly, right, you look in Boone Jenner, potentially, would be a guy. But not a huge, it's been a while since he scored, right? I like his, and he's got a little bit of an injury bug history here recently. But, he had a good stretch. He scored 30 goals like a decade ago. But, he's 20-goal guy is kind of what I'd say. But he's being banged up, right? Like last year he played 26 games. This year he's only played 18. So that'd be my concern on Boone Jenner. Like the player, I actually think the cap hit, I have no problem with. But the injury history, you're like, can this guy get through 4 rounds of the playoffs for us? Right? That would be my concern for them. And like Pittsburgh, now what if you could get Evgeny Malkin? I'm telling you, I would have some time for that. Now, Pittsburgh can only retain half, so that's $3 million. Now he would be a $3 million player in the playoffs then, so it's not bad. But you're gonna have to ship somebody out, right? Are they taking Mangiapane? I don't know. See, probably not. But man, I would have some time for a Malkin rental, because if he's my third line center, oh my God. Oh, big, strong. Imagine running McDavid, Draisaitl, Malkin. You kidding me? Now, maybe Malkin could play the wing. Probably might, but you know what? He's a guy who's a little bit worn down too. So a few less minutes might be beneficial. But man, he's big and he is ultra competitive. And that guy is a freaking gamer in the playoff. I'm just going through teams when I look at players who are on expiring contracts. I love Malkin in the playoffs, man. Guy's over a point a game player, and he's played like 177 playoff games, got 180 points. Like, he's a big time producer in the postseason. I'd have all day for him.
What do you think a potential return would be?
Well, it's not going to be I don't think it'd be as much as people think, right? Like, you're not getting it's like, what did was it when Jerome McGinley got traded late in his career? Was the return that high? I don't even remember what it was. Was it like a mid pick and a mid prospect? Right? It wasn't a huge amount.
You're talking to Pittsburgh?
Yes.
It was Kenneth Agostino, Ben Hanowski, and a first-round pick.
They did get a first.
Yeah,
Okay.
2013 first.
Okay, so like, what? Geez, would I give up a first for Malkin? I'd think about it. I really would, man. Malkin's one of the greatest playoff performers of all time. And you know what? He hasn't been in the postseason since 2022. He hasn't won a playoff round since 2018. You don't think he'd be fired up? I'd because then if you wanted to load up McDavid and Draisaitl, Malkin is my second and Nugent Hopkins is my third. I'm still okay with that. So I wouldn't. I would be all in on Malkin if he's thinking. Now he's always played in the East as you want to, but you're coming to Edmonton. If Jenny Malkin, I played with Sidney Crosby, now I'm going to go play Draisaitl and McDavid. I'd have some interest in that, right? A lot.
For the record, he was traded again when he was 39, I believe, and at that point it was a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, okay. And then Malkin's 39 now, so that at first probably would be too much for a 39-year-old Malkin for sure. Second rounder, I do a second rounder. I wouldn't even question it. Right? Malkin was playing great before he got hurt this year. He's a point game guy again. So, well, we'll see if he comes back and plays well. Then, yeah, what are other teams looking at? But he would be highly sought after. Let's make no mistake about this, right? Because if we're looking for legit top 6 guys, there's not a ton of them. Malkin's a legit top 6 player, right? Like Nick Foligno, no. Jason Dickinson, no. Mikheyev, no. Right? Like there's not a ton of them. So you kind of have to look at how it works. Gregor, how do you make the cap work? Guess what? Now there's one thing I've heard people talk about Mangiapane, right? And he has, but if I'm not mistaken, Mangiapane has a no trade clause, right? But not a no movement clause. So see the difference. So I go to Andrew Mangiapane. We're at the deadline. Okay, Andrew, we're going to want to trade you here. No, I don't want to go. Well, guess what? We're going to put you on waivers because he has a no trade clause, not a no movement clause. No movement means you can't be put on waivers. When you have a no trade clause, you can be put on waivers. Now, his second year of his deal is a modified no trade where he has a 5-team trade list. So I look at that. Like, all it does is give the player some option on where he wants to go. That's all it does. But when you have a no trade and not a no move, and you say, hey, man, played you in the minors then? Like, trust me, you would do that. If he continues to play that poorly at that point, it would definitely be an option. It would definitely be an option. Hey, Greg's, what about Steven Stamkos? Well, he makes $8 million. Is Nashville going to retain 2 years and the rest of this season on Stamkos? Like, I know he had the 4-goal game. I need to see more than that from Stamkos because he's kind of slowed down. Well, not kind of. He has slowed down. But at $4 million, you're like, all right, $4 million player, 20-goal scorer. He's a right shot. He can shoot the pill, man. He doesn't have to be overly fast to play with those guys. So, yeah. Well, considering I'm paying Mangiapane 3.6, my God, I'd pay Stamkos 4. Yeah, not even a question. But I'm making an unfair comparison because I'm taking a guy who's done very little at 3.6. Almost anybody would look better at that point. So I understand that. And, like Stamkos, he's got 4 assists this year in 32 games. Like the 4-goal game is really the one game that kind of makes his stats look okay. But up until that point, you're like, oof, this guy's got 12 points in 32 games. Like, not good. Right? Like, he was on pace for 30 points. So, and, he's getting older. Like, he's got 2 more years on his deal. That to me is the concern. I might, because then, Gregor, would you choose Marchessault or Stamkos? Oh, God. Like, you're picking guys like I don't want term for guys who are aging and who aren't playing well. Like Marchessault, does he even have 10 points, Cons? Look it up. Does he have 10 points? I know he's missed some time, but does he even have 10 points? He might. But if he does, he sure as hell doesn't have much more than 10 points. So, we'll see where that is. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. How many?
Right on 10.
Ooh, okay, 10 points. Now, let's, before I get to our first break, let's get to the game that you guys like to play. Walker and Paulson love it. It's over-under for the River Cree. Catch all your favorite sports, including UFC and boxing, live on big screens at Tap 25 in the Center Bar. Visit rivercreeresort.com, and you get a $100 River Cree gift card, redeemable at the hotel, restaurants, or the gift shop. So our over-under tonight, Connor Halley, Quinn Hudson, 10 minutes and 20 seconds of ice time. Over or under? 10-20. Over or under for Quinn Hudson tonight. You just text in over, under. It is it's very simple. Very simple. Hey, Greg's, why are the Oilers so inconsistent year after year? Well, I don't know, JC, if I could say year after year, man. Like, they've been in the Stanley Cup final twice in a row. I think, are they struggling this year? Yes. No question. But we'll see. Hey, Greg's Nuge isn't bottom 25 and plus minus. You guys, you have to look a little bit deeper than plus minus as the only statistic. The Oilers plus minus as a team was horrific early on, right? Like, you lose a game 9-1, you like when they've lost some games big, right? So it's impacted. Watch Nugent Hopkins and tell me you're seeing lots of glaring defensive errors with and without the puck from Nugent Hopkins. That's what I'm going to focus on with him. Like, I wouldn't buy it that big of a deal. Nugent Hopkins is -4 5-on-5. Okay? He's -4 5-on-5. Now, if you look at all strengths, he's on the ice for some empty net goals, etc. And Nugent, what are you talking about? Nugent Hopkins is +6. Yeah, he's -4 5-on-5. But overall, goals for, goals against this year, he's not a minus player. Like, if you look in all situations, like, because he's on the penalty kill, he's on the power play, plays everything. So I don't know what you're looking at, but bottom 5 and plus minus, don't make up stats. I believed you. Now I look like a fool because I looked it up for 2 seconds. He's not. So I don't know what stat you're looking at, Gyro, but wrong. Take a quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Oilers pregame is brought to you by Titan Supply. Built on trust, driven by safety. The Titan way. Visit titansupply.ca.
Wing Wednesday at First Round. Whether you're coming for the first round, the last round, or a few rounds in between, they've got you covered with half-price wings every Wednesday night. Half-price wings. Over 35 delicious flavors like Cajun salt and pepper, maple bacon, and Inferno wings. Now half price every Wednesday night. Watch them down with a cold pint of Canadian or Coors Light for only $5.75. Half price Wing Wednesdays at First Round in West Ed and now downtown. First Round, burgers, beer, sports.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
And what can I get for you this year, little fella?
I want a new Ford F-150 with the FX4 package.
Adults need toys to play with on Christmas morning, too. And Nisku Ford has the best toys in town.
If you decide to wrap one up, you can get rebates as high as $10,000 or choose interest rates as low as 0%.
This Christmas, get the toy you really want.
Add Nisku Ford to your holiday visits or make your wish list at niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
What do you get that special someone on your list for Christmas? Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson with just the thing. A new grad cheater for this winter or a new Goodman air conditioner for those hot summer nights with no interest for 24 months. And why not buy yourself something nice too, like a new Goodman furnace, also with no interest for 24 months. The gift of Goodman from Weiss Johnson. Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
Oilers pregame is brought to you by Titan Supply. Built on trust, driven by safety. The Titan way. Visit titansupply.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It's Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza when you use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
It's the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Edmonton's only 24/7 sports station, Sports 1440.
We continue on. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley here in the pregame show brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca. Oilers and the Penguins were about 50 minutes from puck drop. It'll be Skinner versus Jari, which is probably what it would have been even if there wasn't a trade. But now they're on opposite teams. Jari with the Oilers in his second game. Stuart Skinner and Brett Kulak will make their Penguins debut tonight. So a little extra juice for sure in that game. Some storylines. You throw in Leon Draisaitl trying to become the 20th player in NHL history, or 20th quickest player in NHL history, 103rd player in NHL history to 1,000 points. When he does, the Oilers will be the first franchise in NHL history to have 5 players register 1,000 points for their team. Of course, Gretzky had 1,669. McDavid 1,134. Curry's at 1,043. Messier 1,034, and Draisaitl, his next point will give him 1,000. He's obviously going to pass Curry and Messier most likely this season, and then him and McDavid will sit 2-3. And Draisaitl will have a shot because his contract's got 7 more years if he stays there the whole time to catch Gretzky, and McDavid, if he signs an extension, could also catch him. It'd be wild. Imagine if both of those guys stayed here and both of them passed Gretzky in points. That would be absolutely crazy. Crazy. Our over-under for River Cree is 10 minutes, 20 seconds. Over-under ice time for Quinn Hudson tonight. So text in at 833-401-1440. Let's get to our expert analysis brought to you by Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock, the used parts experts with province-wide shipment and daily delivery to Edmonton. Visit edsautosalvage.com. As host of the Kevin Carey Show, Kevin Karras joins us. Dick, what's happening?
Not much, Greg. Just getting ready for this one tonight. Kind of like everyone else, it's the most highly anticipated game of the season, and let's just hope she lives up to the hype.
So give us your thought. Quinn Hudson, does he get over under 10 minutes and 20 seconds tonight?
I will say under 10-20. Why is that? That's what the line is? 10-20. That's that what you got set?
Yeah, that's what we got it. So I look at it and I say, here's a guy who's red hot in the minors. You got a bottom 6 that can't score in the ocean. Why call him up to only play him 8 minutes? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Don't know. We'll see. I would love to see it be over. But one thing that he's got to do is his first shift. He's got to come out and do something. He's got to make the coaching staff go, this guy came to play tonight. If he does that, then he's going to get the next shift and the next shift after that, providing there's no penalties and it's not a power play or shorthanded game that the Oilers have to maneuver. He could go over it, but I think he needs to do something. Have a great first shift, have a hit, go hard to the net, create something just to show the coaching staff that he deserves more.
Looking to the game tonight, Jari and Skinner, obviously, there's lots of emotions involved. I think it's the game that's going to be harder for Skinner is the game when they come to Edmonton, right? All your family's here, all your friends. This one's kind of like, okay, you get it over with, probably a little fun. Jari might have a little bit more challenge tonight just because he's back in the rink where he spent 12 years in that organization.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, by that time in January, Skinner's going to have, a little more familiarity. Tonight he might be just flying by the seat of his pants because, basically he just got there. And he didn't have any practice time. He goes in and just basically shuts things off and tries to, just play his very best in the sense that, he has no familiarity with teammates, defense, anything like that, except for Kulak, that is. So, I think it's going to be tough for both goalies tonight because, if you think about what Stu said, and I know with Speck talking to him, I think, he wished he would have been able to stay and see it through here, but he's also smart enough and he's cerebral enough that he knows that he's getting another chance here, and he's got a great opportunity to do something here in Pittsburgh the last 45, 50 games.
It's super early. He hasn't even played a game yet. Do you think he re-signs in Pittsburgh?
I think it all depends on what he does in these 50 games. If he comes out and is a goaltender that puts up the decent numbers and Pittsburgh makes the playoffs, I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, we were talking this morning, and really their goaltender of the future is in the minors and in the young Russian. That's who they think their goalie of the future is. Shilovs is there, but he's a free agent next year. Different case than Skinner, being restricted as opposed to unrestricted. But I think the young Russian is the goalie of the future there for them.
Yeah, he's pretty young though, and he might be the goalie of the future for sure. But next year, I don't want him to be my starter right away at 22 years of age. I'd want a starter, and at bare minimum, it's 1A, 1B, and maybe even my starter is like 50 games to 32.
I think they're looking at 35 games next year for Sergei Muratov.
Yeah.
That's what the number is for sure.
Yeah, that would make sense, but then you still need a starter. You know what I mean? So I think so.
I think it's probably a 50-50, to be honest with you, if he re-signs there. But again, if he has a really good season for the last 50 games here, he's going to sign the same kind of money that Tristan Jarry was making. So that's going to be what his number is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And rightfully so. So we'll see. Brett Kulak, I probably think a trade bait piece for sure, which will suck for him. You have to move your family twice during the season. Not ideal, but Kulak is the prime candidate because Brett Kulak in the playoffs is just seemingly a better player than he is in the regular season.
Totally agree there. And we had and Kingsbury on this morning, and he said, if they're not even if they're flirting with the playoffs, he's at 100% that Kulak gets moved by the deadline.
Kevin Karius joined us here in the Titan Supply pregame show. Oilers and the Pittsburgh Penguins coming up at around 5:45. Sidney Crosby is 2 points shy of tying Mario Lemieux for 1,723 points, most in Penguins history. He's obviously going to pass him this year. And you look, he won 3 cups to Lemieux's 2. You think Crosby, as strange as it sounds, is a bigger deal in Pittsburgh than Lemieux was?
That's a crazy question. Mario saved the franchise, and then, to be honest with you, Sidney Crosby came at a time when the franchise was in disarray as well. Sidney has the longevity. Mario has the points per game, which is insane to think about that. He's done it in like 900 games compared to the 1383 or whatever Sid's at. But Mario, I guess there's something about the way he played, and maybe it's me being the old school guy. I just love watching Mario play. I can't take anything away from Sid, but for me, I'm a Mario guy.
Okay. Yeah, no, a pure end talent, I would agree. I'm just saying for the city of Pittsburgh, Lemieux helped him at the time, so there's some validity in that. 21 years for Crosby. He's been a point-a-game guy every year. He's taken to 3 Stanley Cups. They lost in another cup, and he's still sticking through here. I I still wonder if at some point, like if they miss again this year, if he says, you know what, man, it's been an unreal run, but that's 4 years now. I haven't won a playoff series in 8 years. Like, I'd like another chance in my career. I just, especially, you know, after going to the 4 nations and winning, and then if he goes to the Olympics and win, I just think he might be like, I got to try to win.
It's even longer, you know, it's longer in the sense of what Brad Marchand was. And no one ever thought that would happen. And no one thought he would resign in Florida after he got traded there. Maybe Sydney's in the same boat. And again, you mentioned they haven't been in the playoffs since 21-22. They haven't gone deep past a round in the playoffs in almost 10 years. So I could see it happening, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just sticks it out in Pittsburgh and even signs another. I think he would go year to year after his contract expires.
Interesting question came in from Mondo. Who do you think's been more disappointing, Mangiapane or Frederick?
We had that question the other day as well. I think it's a 50-50 split. That's how bad it is. You can't pick one worse than the other. And that's sad to say, because when you think about what the two of them have offered this year, and you could take either one of them out of the lineup when Roslovic and Kapanen comes back, and the way they're playing right now, you wouldn't miss them at all.
Oh, God, no, not really. I still believe, like, if you tell me who I think has a better chance to bounce back and give you more, I think it's Frederick. Right? Like, I'm just not sure Mangiapane has a whole lot more to offer.
Yeah, I would agree, because Frederick, there was the game, okay, he gets in the scrap and he goes after Olivier. I mean, you can push that out of him. Mangiapane doesn't have that in him to push it out of him.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Kevin Carey's joins us. Do you think the Oilers' goaltending tandem as it sits today will be the same at the trade deadline?
I'll say no. And it could even be solved within from Connor Ingram. Maybe he gets a shot here sometime in the new year. But having said that, again, you look at how well that Cal Pickard played the other night, and I think he's going to get pushed here just as hard as he was getting before. I think he was just in a bit of a bad stretch. I'm not saying that Cal is the answer. I guess to my original answer to the question, I'd say no. And maybe there's even someone even more so to push Jari in that sense. Because I don't know if there's Ingram maybe right now and moving forward is a lateral move to have him replace Pickard right now. There's no one, maybe there's someone else out there that is more of a 1A, 1B.
Yeah, well, Ingram gave up 7 in his last game in Bakersfield. He's had a rough stretch down there. Hey, it's the American League. It can be difficult at times, but the longer the season goes, it's still only 11 games. But with every game, you wonder if that's a realistic option, to be honest. So we'll see. Looking at the Oilers, like Montreal was just a disaster for them. Turned the puck over all the time. McDavid, though, him and Draisaitl went into that game. 15 points in 5 games for McDavid, 12 points in 5 games for Draisaitl. Like, the big guns have really shown up here lately. Podkolzin's games coming around, Hyman's games coming around. When you look at Podkolzin, you think this guy could be like a consistent 20-goal man?
That's what we said the other morning, Greg. Duke and I, and we discussed him. This was before he scored the 2 goals. Even before he rifled that one off the crossbar for the empty netter. And I said to the Duke the next morning, those are the goals that, if you want to score 20, to go bar down is a little risque. How's that sound?
Yeah.
You had the opportunity with a wide open net, and those are the easy ones. When you're a 20-goal man or if you're a 30-goal man, those are the ones that you need to add to the total. I still think Podkolzin's going to get 20 this year. If he can do that every year. You think about it. You got a guy right now for 3 more years that is playing besides the guy that you got for 8 years lined up. And that, you can't ask for much more than that when you've got your number 2 center in Leon and how much of an impact he has. And he wants this guy on his line for the next 3 years. So if he's playing with Leon, he could get 20 every year, I would say, for the next 3 for sure.
Kev, thanks for joining us here on the pregame show. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Have a good one.
There you go. That's Kevin Karras in the Titan Supply pregame show. We got a lot of texts, 833-401-1440, Cons.
That is the Weiss Johnson inbox, Edmonton's go-to for your heating, air conditioning, and hot water tank needs. Visit weiss-johnson.com.
Now, let's get we're going to hear from Chris Knobloch because he's got a few thoughts on the game as we get to the coaches interview brought to you by Vision Credit Union, investing 100% in Alberta and giving back to the communities they serve. VisionCU.ca. And he talked first of all about going up against Skinner and Kulak and the added emotion that will bring.
I think more of the players deal with that. They've, especially the guys who have played with them so long, and they spent so much time together in the dressing room. But I think it'll be nostalgic for me when I see them on the ice, when they're on the other side of it. Be a little bit different, but we wish them all the best, just not tonight.
And what are his early takeaways, albeit super early, on Tristan Jarry?
Obviously I like his game in Toronto the other night. We haven't had any practice time, just been on the ice a little bit and got to see him, talk to him a little bit. But it's early, but the reports on him were very positive. We like the fact that he's with our team right now. And I think he's just going to be a big part of it. We got a text that I'm like, oh my God, imagine if they did, it would be hilarious. But we'll get to that in a second. More from Knobloch. His thoughts on the decision to bring up Quinn Hudson and what they're hoping he'll add to the lineup tonight. We're in a situation we're in right now with the injuries and the salary cap and stuff like that. We wanted to call somebody up and give them an opportunity. And with so many guys playing so well in Bakersfield, and the time right now was as good a time as any. And of those players playing in Bakersfield that are playing well, Hudson's probably is the one that's really standing out with his goal scoring and his two-way play. And you look at our team right now, we could probably use a little more secondary scoring. The expectations for him to come in and score right away is not it, but maybe he can chip in once in a while. But we think him as a really good hockey player and rewarding him for playing as well as he is down in Baco.
He has played well in Bakersfield. And is the coach at all? Because the coach did see him 2 games late last year. And then in preseason, you remember Quinn Hudson played a lot of games, and I think he got into 5, maybe 6 games in the preseason, like 9 days. Right. And obviously when you're in college, you don't play that many games. And he just looked like he was gassed near the end. So what's Knobloch's thoughts just on Hudson's progression from last season until now?
Well, at the end of the year, we weren't playing our best hockey, and it's very difficult to put somebody in those situations. And we had, probably 5 or 6 injuries up front, and we were playing games that really didn't matter in the standings. So then when you put in somebody when the team game's not that good, and then you're evaluating somebody, it's not really fair. But, I don't think I would say that he looked out of place, but I would say, not of a guy that was going to make an impact right away. So, it's difficult for any player coming from their previous league, coming to the NHL. You just see it numerous times. It benefits players spending some time in the American League, being a dominant player there, making an impact, and then getting your call up and being able to play your game.
That is head coach Chris Knobloch in the coach's interview brought to you by Vision Credit Union. It is the Gregor Show here, Sports 1440, Sports 1440.ca, Oilers and the Penguins. Still about half an hour, if not longer, away from puck drop. Tonight, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to get more into, we'll hear more from Knobloch. Also, Quinn Hudson, who gets the call after 28 points in 24 games, including 16 goals. The guy's been scoring and has been scoring a lot upstairs. He'll start on a line with Frederick and Lazar. Our over-under question for you today is 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Over or under time on ice for Quinn Hudson tonight at 10:20. We will return on the Titan Supply pregame show.
Oilers pregame is brought to you by Titan Supply. Built on trust, driven by safety. The Titan way. Visit titansupply.ca. Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast.
Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperature's dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Boxing Week blowout starts early at the break. Find real Boxing Day prices early and beat the rush on the 26th. Score the best deals on electronics and appliances, plus save up to $1,000 off sectionals. Buy more, save more. Up to 25% off bedroom and dining, and up to 40% off mattresses, and $500 off big screen TVs. Don't wait for the crowds. Shop the Brick's Boxing Week early access event. Some exclusions apply. The Brick, saving you more.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at TAP 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the Center Bar. Plus, catch this fall's biggest games. Every goal, every tackle, every home run. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Pre-matchups are brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. For all your automotive needs, go to your trusted experts in high-quality parts, tools, equipment, and more. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent and non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Sports 1440 and the pregame show with Andrew Walker. We are Edmonton's sports leader.
No walks today. It's Gregor and Connor Halley, Oilers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Tonight, the Oilers have had a fair amount of success against the Penguins recently, although the Pens did win the last meeting between these two teams 5-3 last year. We got a lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Also, our month of giving continues on today as you make your way home. We got a really good package, and it's a pretty good bargain right now. It's up to $1,600 courtesy of our friends at OTR. So you get lots in this package. So number one, you're going to get the pub party for 10. It's dinner for 10, appetizers, 4 drinks per person. Okay, there's 10 of you. So do the math in your head just on the drinks alone. Never mind dinner. You know what that's going to be. Then you're going to get a $500 in GCs, $250 for On the Rocks, and $250 for the brand new Druid location, which is the old Mercer right across the street from Rogers. And you get a pair of tickets to the Oilers Tampa Bay game on March 21st. That's after the trade deadline. You'll know all the players on the team. They're taking on a Tampa Bay team. Those games are always entertaining. So it's a real great package, courtesy of On the Rocks. And I should mention, with the pub party for 10, you're going to get a lot of TLC from Dr. Wang, one of the best hosts around. So he'll make your evening very memorable. I can tell you, people that have used this in the past, like, I'll just say this, though. If you don't want to have fun, don't bid. Because this is for the fun crowd. Super fun crowd. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. A few things going on. Hey, Gregor, did you see that the Habs sent Montembeault down on a conditioning stint? Why can't they do that with Frederick? Well, because Frederick hasn't missed any games. Montembeault hasn't played, right? Frederick's played every game. He's not going to qualify. So if you sit out too long and the player agrees with it, you can do it. So you'd have to sit out Frederick for that many games. I don't see them doing that. Right? It's different of a situation. I'm not going to sit him out 5-6 straight games at this point. I'd be rather surprised. He also is a much more proven NHL player than Montembeault. You have to look at things rationally, not irrationally and emotionally as a fan. I don't like how he's playing, so we're just going to send him down the minors. Like it's on a conditioning stint, a player has to agree to it. That's the number one thing, right? Montembeault is a young player. He wants to get back playing, right? Frederick's an established NHLer who believes he can find his game in the NHL. I can just tell you that flat out that's what he's going to be doing. So we shall see. Let's get to the injury report brought to you by Dr. Vance Elliott, world leader in hair restoration. Visit drvanceelliott.com for a free consultation. Today, the Oilers injuries remain the same. You have Jack Roslovic. Good news. He's on the trip. He's skating. I guess there's an outside chance that maybe he would play against Minnesota. I think it's fairly unlikely, but I guess not impossible for him. Kasperi Kapanen, I do not expect him back before Christmas. Connor Clattenburg is on IR. Same thing. Jake Wallman. I don't know if any of those guys are going to play before Christmas, so they remain 4 guys out. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Penguins of Jenny Malkin has been out since December 4th, and man, do they miss him. You look at the Pens. You got rookie Ben Kindle. Great story as a rookie. He's got 8 goals so far in 28 games. That's pretty damn good for an 18-year-old rookie, but him and Tommy Novak, Danton Hyman, that's their second, third, and fourth line centers right now. So they got a little bit of injury problems in Pittsburgh. Blake Lizotte also banged up. Philip Hallander is also out for the Penguins. Stuart Skinner will start tonight. Tristan Jarry will start for the Oilers. So that's the injury report right there. Over under again. People wondering what that is. It is at 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Time on ice tonight for Quinn Hudson. Text in 833-401-1440. Ryan comes back in at 17 hundo on our month of giving package. I like it. Nice. We look at some other news for the Edmonton Oilers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The stats, because there are some really unique storylines to follow. Leon Draisaitl tonight needs 1 point. A lot of us thought he was going to get it on Sunday. He didn't. Gets that point tonight. He'll be the 20th quickest to 1,000 points. And the list of guys who are on there is pretty darn impressive when you consider, we're talking Hall of Famers, right? The only active guys on the list are Crosby, McDavid, and Kucherov. And I think we'd all agree that they'll be getting in the Hall of Fame, as will Leon Draisaitl when it's all said and done. Now, of those 20 players, Draisaitl has the 7th most goals through their first 1,000 points. Brett Hall had 560. Mike Bossy, 508. Yari Curry, 461. Phil Esposito, 445. Steve Yzerman, 434. Then Guy Lafleur at 426. Then Draisaitl comes in. He's at 416. And if his first point tonight's a goal, it's 417. So he's either going to be 416 or 17. He's ahead of Marcel Dion at 413. Jaromir Jagr, 410. Merrill Lemieux, 404, and Dale Hawerchuk, 402. So not like he's a point producer, but he's a pretty darn good goal scorer in that department. Also, Sidney Crosby, speaking of points and goals, he currently has 1,721 points. He's 2 shy of Merrill Lemieux for 8th in NHL history, but also the most in Penguins franchise history. He's going to break the record. He's got a chance to do it tonight. Needs 3 points, but he'll do it this season for sure. And then he'll probably pass Steve Yzerman later on this season and move up to 7th. And then he's got some other guys in his sights and Dion and a few more, probably maybe even Gordie Howe next year. But next season, he could pass Gordie Howe's record, which is 1,809 points. It's the most points for any franchise. 1,809. Steve Yzerman second at 755. Crosby's currently third at 1720. Well, sorry, fourth, because Lemieux is at 1723. He's fourth, but soon to be third in that department. Now, another stat. Now, this is just in the all-time stat list, but just I thought Oilers fans might find it interesting. Connor McDavid has 755 career assists. Do you know who he's tied? Which former Oiler, Connor Halley? Do you think McDavid is tied right now for he's currently tied with him for 48th most assists in NHL history?
Former Oiler.
Yeah, former Oiler.
Oh, dear. Doug Waite.
Good guess, Con Man. Right in the wheelhouse. Yes, Doug Waite. Now, Doug Waite had 755 assists. He did it in 1,200 and some games. McDavid's played 745 games. McDavid is currently averaging over an assist per game. Not point per game, assist per game. Only 2 players in NHL history finished their career with a 1.00 or higher assist per game. Gretzky and Lemieux. And now, McDavid, you know what? You slow down later in your career. He's currently at 755 and 745. But it's damn impressive for sure. So he is a guy by the end of this season. He's probably going to pass Yari Curry and sit 36th just in assists. And he'll be the 36th player to get to 800 assists. He's going to get to 900. He's going to get 1,000 assists. Come on. Look at his career. Very good chance that he'll be one of the highest guys in assists. Probably only second to Gretzky, I would think, when it's all said and done. We shall see. He's having himself quite the career. So those are some statistical numbers to be looking for. Also, when Draisaitl gets his 1,000 point tonight, the Oilers will do something no franchise has ever done in the history of the league. Have 5 players who scored 1,000 points for their team. Gretzky, McDavid, Curry, Messier, the 4. Draisaitl will become number 5, and that'll break a tie. Boston has 4. Detroit has 4. LA has 4. But the Oilers will be the first to 5. And there's not a lot of other teams like really close to that right away. Hey, Greg, do you think Nugent Hopkins would become the 6th? Well, Nuge needs what? 227 points to get to 1,000. He's actually a point a game player this year. 25 points in 24 games. So he's missed what? 10 games? 9, whatever it is. So let's say, he plays 70 games. Let's give him 65 points. So that would be another 40 points this year. That would put him to around whatever. He needs 187. And after that, he's got 3 years left on his contract. He'd have to average 60 points a year for 3 years. I think Nugent Hopkins is most likely probably going to have to sign an extension to get that 1,000 points with the Oilers. I think he'd have to sign an extension after his current one. So we would see kind of where it goes from there. Hey, Gregor, didn't Ovechkin have 1,000 points? Yes, but he didn't have it this quick. That's what we're talking about. The guys who were this quick, top 20, quickest to 1,000 points. Ovechkin wasn't in the top 20 quickest. I don't even know what his game is. Probably close, maybe 800 and some. I'd have to look. I could look it up at the commercial break to see how many games, but he's not. I was only using the guys from the top 20. And out of those guys, Draisaitl has the 7th most goals. Ovechkin, obviously, I would assume would have more. Most years of his career, he had more goals than assists, right? So you look at it, for sure he would have that. But I don't know how many where he was at in games played to get to 1,000. I'd have to look it up, and it wouldn't be hard. I've got a site that I could look it up fairly quickly during the break and can let you know after. We also let's hear from let's get to the matchup now. Brought to you by Napa. For all your automotive needs, go to your trusted experts in high-quality parts, tools, equipment, and more. That's Napa Know-How. Of course, the matchup to watch tonight is Crosby and McDavid. They were teammates last year for the first time. There's obviously a boatload of respect between the two. But if you look at it from a matchup perspective, Connor McDavid has individually and as a team has had more success than Sidney Crosby has. McDavid since let's just look it up. McDavid has 30 points in 16 career games against the Penguins since 2015, 2016, and Sidney Crosby in that time against the Edmonton Oilers has, as I do the math on he has 12 points in 17 games. So 30 points in 16 for McDavid, 12 and 17 for Crosby, and he's dash 13. Like the Oilers and really McDavid's speed, they've torched Pittsburgh. And keep that in mind when you go to playalberta.ca today, if you like, because we got the Jason Gregor Show special, which has McDavid getting 2 points tonight, as well as Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard with 1 to add in a little fun for you. So you can check it out at playalberta.ca. But to me, this is a game that the Oilers should win. Doesn't mean they will, but they should. They're a better team. Take Malkin out of the lineup, and they're a much better team. And now there is the emotion of the game, for Jari and Skinner and Kulak. I get it all. But, Conman, I look at that matchup specifically, and McDavid has dominated since coming into the league against the Penguins and Crosby.
Yeah, I mean, like, you just kind of think about that. When you're a guy like Connor McDavid, you're the next one up, and you have a chance to take on the guy who's currently in the spotlight, holding it down. I think you get motivated by that. And if we've ever seen anything from Connor McDavid, I mean, he tends to do that, finds those markers, those things where he needs to raise his game, and the Pittsburgh Penguins have been one of them. And part of the reason in 5 questions, I went with a 2-goal performance from Connor McDavid, because I just feel like, he's got that ability to elevate his game. I think you just have to look back to Saturday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Another chance for him on a big stage. I believe this is the national broadcast down south. So a big stage, a big chance for him to put on a bit of a show. And who knows? I wonder if it'll happen in the third period, Gregor, as the Penguins in their last 2 games given up 4 goals. Those are the Sharks and the Mammoths. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think this is just another chance for him to go out there and do his thing and kind of give you the classic Connor McDavid performance.
Well, to me, the Oilers, they don't want to wait till the third period. You're right. Pittsburgh is obviously not going to want to collapse like they have their last 2 first periods. But, the Oilers are going to want to. They're going to want to be better. Now, the Oilers are 9-6-3 in that time. Now, they've played 18 games, so McDavid's missed 2. Crosby's missed 1. The one game I know McDavid, 1 game for sure they didn't play, they lost, and I think it might have been both, so we'll see. But he's playing tonight, and this is just a matchup that's favored the Oilers. And Zach Hyman's starting to find his game. We mentioned Nugent Hopkins got 25 points in 24 games this year. McDavid has really hit his stride as of late. I just think that line, if Crosby's line's got to go head-to-head against them, that's a tough matchup. They just don't have the speed on that line with him and Rust, right? And Raquel. They just don't. Doesn't mean that, for one game they can't play well, but and then which defenseman? You're putting Erik Karlsson and Wotherspoon out against him? Like, Pittsburgh doesn't have a shutdown pair. Like, this is a matchup. We can go across the line. Never mind the second line. We're talking about David Crosby. Even if you want to say, well, maybe they'll break even, which would be, I think gracious to say that. But the second line of the Penguins, or the third line, you got Kindell, Brazeau, and Rutger McGroarty up against Draisaitl's line, or Tommy Novak with Mantha and Kevin Hayes. There's more experience on the wings there, but Mantha is definitely not considered a defensive player, nor is Kevin Hayes. So this is a matchup that all arrows point to if the Oilers decide to show up like they did against Toronto. And here's the thing. They're kind of in a rotation. 2 good, 1 stinker. Dominate Seattle and Winnipeg, teams they should dominate. They did. Got 15 goals in those games. Then against Buffalo, walked for 40 minutes, had a furious third period, tied the game, lost in overtime. Then they come back, they dominate Detroit. They dominate Toronto. Laying egg against Montreal. So if you think that trend continues, they could get a win tonight.
Greg, I want to ask you a question here. when you've got a goalie against his former team, obviously, goalie knows the team's players' tendencies. The shooters know the goalie's tendencies. Who has the advantage, do you think?
You know,
Or does anyone?
I've talked to goalies and shooters about that a lot. Like Stuart Skinner going up against the Oilers' power play, he'll know what they like to do, but they also know what's one of Stuart Skinner's challenges. His lateral movement's not his best. So if you're the Edmonton Oilers, maybe you look at that and say, hey, maybe we'll fake a shot once and get him going back the other way. We'll find out. You know, I've talked to shooters and they're saying, you know, they look and say, hey, like, what's an area the guy's susceptible to? And maybe you try to shoot it, but it depends. If you have time, I think the advantage is on the shooter. If you don't have time, I think it's maybe a little bit advantageous on the goalie. A little bit, but with time and which shooter are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like if it's the bottom six guys who have time, I don't know. But if it's Draisaitl, McDavid have time, that should be their advantage. Now for the Penguins, probably the same thing, like Sidney Crosby, but the Penguins don't have a lot of guys who have been on that team for a long time, right? Like look, so Crosby's been there and Brian Rust, right? Ricard's been there a few years. Kindell's first year, Brazo's first year, McGroarty hasn't even played much. Tommy Novak was there last year. Anthony Mantha's new. Danton Hine and Connor Dewar, Noel Acciari. Like, how many of these guys have even played that many practices with Jari prior to this season? Not many. Right now, Chris Letang on the back end, sure, but it's not like D-men are usually in a position to exploit a guy's weakness. So I would say Skinner has the tougher matchup because Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, Draisaitl, McDavid, you know, Henrique's been there multiple years. Podkolzin's been there a few years. They got more guys that have faced him in practice on a day-to-day basis. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, etc. So I guess I would probably say in that sense, Jari has the advantage because there's just not a lot of Penguins teammates that have been with them for a very long time. It's kind of how I see it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and return. That's the Titan Supply pregame show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit TitanSupply.ca.
Reason number 37 why Nissan is built for our winter. Because winter getaways should be cozy, not cold. Kick's standard heated front seats and side mirrors help keep you warm and your view clear. That's winter ready. Now, lease a 2026 Kicks S front-wheel drive for $349 monthly at 3.9%. Or get $2,000 cash purchase bonus on remaining 2025 models. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for more details. Lease term for 48 months with $1,249 down. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Touch base on the Weiss Johnson text line, 1-833-401-1440. Keep your home warmer and energy costs down with a Goodman furnace installed by the pros from Weiss Johnson. Visit weiss-johnson.com for your new Goodman furnace.
Oilers pregame is brought to you by Titan Supply. Built on trust, driven by safety. The Titan way. Visit TitanSupply.ca.
Hockey talent from across the globe is coming to Camrose. The Viking Cup returns for the first time in nearly 20 years, December 28th to January 3rd at the Encana Arena. Witness this elite competition between teams from Canada, the USA, and Europe. See the speed, skill, and intensity of world-class hockey right at home. Fully bet packages are on sale now with adult and student pricing available. Get your tickets before they sell out at vikingcup.ca.
Well, it's all right.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money. Support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It's the Gregor Show here, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We got 23 minutes left. Ryan is in at $1,700. A pretty good deal to go to OTR. You're going to have lots of fun. You get the pub party for 10, which includes appetizers, entrees, 4 drinks per person. You get that. Then you'll have an additional $500 in gift cards, $250 to On the Rocks, $250 to the brand new Druid that opens up next week in the old Mercer building right across the street from Rogers, and a pair of seats to the Oilers Lightning game on March 21st. Should also mention when you have your pub party for 10, you get a little extra TLC from Dr. Wang that night. So I'm telling you, it's going to be a good time. Good time. Oilers are in Pittsburgh to take on the Penguins. It'll be Skinner and Kulak. First game is the Penguin going up against their former teammates, the Oilers. You also have Tristan Jarry in his second game with Edmonton taking on his former team, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Draisaitl's going for 0.1000. Crosby's trying to tie the Penguins' all-time franchise mark. He needs 2 points to tie, 3 points to beat it. So lots of storylines. Both teams disappointed with their last game. The Oilers lose 4-1 in Montreal. The Penguins blew a 3-0 lead to Utah the day after blowing a 5-1 lead in the third period against San Jose. So both teams, I think, will be fired up for sure. Let's get to Quinn Hudson quickly, con man. And was he waiting for the call? Was he surprised when he got the call?
No, definitely not. Callie was there a couple weeks ago in Bakersfield. He's like, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't really talk much about it. And then we're just having our team Christmas party on Sunday, and it's like 8 o'clock at night. They're like, oh, you're coming up. So I got on a flight the next morning at 5 a.m.
There you go. Probably made the Christmas party pretty fun, right? What does he feel has been the biggest attribute for his success so far this year in Bakersfield? He has 16 goals, 28 points in 24 games.
I think just figuring it out. It's definitely a change, like a lot more games, less practice. So it's definitely a change of pace for sure. And I think just getting comfortable with all the guys we've been playing with, we're having fun down there. So it's been great.
Oh, yeah. When you're scoring, man, it's fun and it's easy. And he is definitely rolling, no question. And hopefully for him, he can continue it in Edmonton. He's obviously not going to get the same amount of power play time and opportunities here, but we'll see. Maybe he gets a few shifts. He's going to start the game with Frederick and Lazar, and we'll see. Maybe just after power plays, et cetera, stuff, maybe he'll find himself getting on a line with not a line, but maybe with a few shifts here or there with some others. Hey, Greggs, you said Frederick's a proven player. You're right. He's proven he can't play. Well, this season, right? He's struggling. He's struggling. This is not new. Not every player on your team every year is going to play well, even when your team's playing well. It just doesn't happen, right? I get he's got an 8-year contract. The first 33 games have not gone very well. We'd all agree with that. It's not like there's anything new to come up with Trent Frederick right now, right? Not buying him out. You got to hope that Trent Frederick can be, because Trent Frederick was a good player in Boston. Hasn't been in Edmonton for a variety of reasons. I don't know what they are. He knows best, but he's got to figure it out. Right? You got to work your way out of it. There's nothing else. It's not like someone's going to come up to you and just go, oh, here's some little, pixie dust. Psh, and now you're going to play well. It's not how it works. You got to grind it out. And some guys, man, it might last all year. Right? It was 60 games for Connor Brown, maybe longer. It happens. Some guys they don't find their stride. Their confidence is gone. Sometimes you need to summer away. And, you hope for his sake that it doesn't last the whole time, because obviously that would be a brutal contract, no question. I get for 33 games, it does not look well. You can't sugarcoat it. It's really been it would be an awful start, no question about that. So, hey, Greg's, do you think the goalies could have switched masks? Would that be possible? Seems weird. Skinner's wearing his Oiler mask, Penguins Coilers, while Jari's wearing his mask and Oiler colors. Wow. Those masks are very specific to your head. You can't just, switch the backing out and know it's going to fit properly. So I would say a big fat no. Guess what? You feel comfortable in the mask you wear, you're not going to change it. They don't see the outside of their mask once it's on, right? It's not like they're looking like, I guess maybe if they want to see the reflection in the plexiglass, they'll be like, oh, geez, I'm not looking good. But I don't think they care once the game starts, man. I don't think that is something that they are going to worry about very much at all. So let's take our final break of the show. We'll come back, see where we're at with Month of Giving on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. December is here. Christmas shopping, Christmas wrapping, Christmas baking, grocery shopping. What about our vehicle? Does it need tires? It's not running? No problem. We got you covered. At Northgate GM, we have a tremendous selection of newer used vehicles, winter tires at cost, and of course, service with a smile. Come in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. But what's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Boxing Week blowout starts early at the Brick. Find real Boxing Day prices early and beat the rush on the 26th. Score the best deals on electronics and appliances. Plus, save up to $1,000 off sectionals. Buy more, save more. Up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Up to 40% off mattresses. And up to $500 off big screen TVs. Don't wait for the crowds. Shop the Brick's Boxing Week early access event. Some exclusions apply. The Brick, saving you more.
It's a time for caring, sharing, and time giving. OPT Inc. asks you to look upon this festive season as an opportunity to help others. It is the best gift of the year. Wishing you a truly Merry Christmas from Rod, Roger, Tina, and Bernie Masson.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:46. Welcome back. Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, where tonight, $80 million up for grabs at PlayAlberta.ca, and 14 max millions in Lotto Max as Tristan Jarry gets the standing ovation on the welcome back to Pittsburgh from the fans. And you know what? Hey, he's third all time in starts, third all time in wins for the Penguins. Only Tom Barrasso and Marc-Andre Fleury have had more success as a goalie in Pittsburgh for a long time. So, he wasn't there during an era where the Penguins were overly dominant, of course. Did lose the only playoff series he was in 6 games, but what I know is people never talk about that year. Crosby was great in the regular season. He had 2 points in 6 games in the playoffs. I'll tell you right now, could Jarry have been better? For sure. But you ain't winning any playoff games when your number one center has 2 points in a 6-game series, okay? Zero chance. I would think that is going to, unless you got a lot of depth elsewhere, man. Unless you have a lot of depth elsewhere, for sure. (833-401-1440), 833-401-1440. You can get a hold of us in our UL inbox. Looking at the out-of-town scoreboard tonight for games that interest the Oilers fans, which obviously number one has Pittsburgh and Edmonton, but Chicago is in Toronto. No Connor Bedard, no problem early. They are leading the Maple Leafs 2-0. Vancouver, they're in New York. Is there a team? Well, there is no team worse at home than the New York Rangers, but the Ducks are on the road. That's a game that matters for the Oilers. They're trying to slowly reel in the Quackers, who are trailing 1-0. They won last night, but Zach Werenski has his 10th of the season, and they lead 1-0. Evander Kane has scored his 6th to give the Canucks a 1-0 lead. Also tonight, the Flames and the Sharks, and then the Avalanche and the Kraken for other Pacific Division games. Tonight, Carl Grundstrom and Alexander Texier have scored. And Morgan Geekie has his 23rd goal of the season for the Bruins. But Barrett Hayton also scored. So it's 1-1. Boston and Utah. Hey, Greg, do you know what's the longest streak for a forward not scoring a goal? And what is Frederick at? Well, Frederick has 1 in 21, so it's not that long. Henrique has 0 in 21. Well, Tobias Reeder in one season, he didn't score a goal. So what was he place? I think it was 68 games, or was it more than that? I'd have to look back down on that, but it was not a banner year for Tobias Reeder. He had 67 games, no goals. That's coming back. The Penguins scored a goal, Justin Brazeau, but the Oilers have challenged it, and it's clearly offside. So that is coming back. The offside rule strikes again in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. But if you watch the review, it's pretty straightforward, con man, that is going to be called back. So Justin Brazeau had a goal early in this game, and it's called back. So there you go. Hey, Greg's, when are people going to realize that although these players like Fredericks are pros, their human and mental side of the game can wreak havoc? Maybe as fans, we should try to be supportive and understanding instead of judgmental and harsh. The guy dealt with a serious injury, then signed a big contract with send expectations soaring. He didn't forget how to play. As Gregor said, he's struggling. We all have times in our lives, and I guarantee a huge majority work their way out of it better when they have support, not someone breathing down their neck telling them they're useless. Being a fan doesn't give you the right to be a crappy human being from Playbook Vic. And, yeah, the goal is called off. That's obvious. Well, keep in mind, guys texting into my show. Like, I don't think that Tread Frederick is hearing it right now. I don't know if fans are going up to him and yelling at him. I think it's okay to say, hey, the first 33 games, player hasn't played well. I think it's I'm going to say that Fredericks just never going to play well again is probably a stretch. To say that he is struggling right now is 100% accurate. That's how I would look at it. Nothing more, nothing less. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. He's got to get some. He's just got to get a little bit of confidence going, man. That's it. So we'll see where it goes from here. We just got a bid for up to $17.50 now on our month of giving. So Ryan, if you're out there, Connor's going to call you. Answer your phone, and we'll see where it goes from there. So there we go. He'll so I think Connor's calling you right now, Big Ryan. So there we go. And all right. So now we're up to 1,800. Okay, there we go. So Mike, now it's your turn. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440, or answer your phone, and Cons will give you a call back, and we'll see where it goes. Coming up tonight, Con Man, who's hosting? Walker is out. Who's hosting the post-game show tonight?
It's going to be the Duke, a.k.a. Brandon Douglas, with Donovan Paulson.
Oh, the Duke and Paulson together. Oh, nice. And, hey, it's an early post-game for the fellas, so they'll get going, and we'll see where they're at. The Oilers and Penguins, no score midway through the first period. I don't even think the Oilers have a scoring chance yet on Stu Skinner. It's been kind of a sluggish start for them. The Penguins did have a goal, but it got negated for offside. And it was, you see the review, like you could see that review, Connor, in real time.
Yeah.
That it was offside.
Yeah. I probably was a pretty quick review. I didn't see the exact time length for it, but yeah, clearly offside and good for the Oilers. And now they get the power play opportunity.
Yeah. So Heinen takes the penalty on Draisaitl, I think it is. And so the Oilers will go to the man advantage. And just don't try to force feed Draisaitl. If the play's there set up, he'll get his 1,000th point at some point. I think we can all realize he'll get 1,000 points. I'm sure they'd like to get it sooner than later, but we'll see if they overpay him or not, or force it. We'll see. Congratulations, Ryan. You have won. You're going to have a hell of a fun time at OTR. Tomorrow, how about this for an opening guest? The Business of Sport, we are going to have the president of the Los Angeles Dodgers joining us at 2 o'clock with Rich Winters. So tune in for that. A little early edition of the Business of Sport tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Have yourselves a great night. Enjoy the game. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Let's get to sports. 1440 update brought to you by Loca. 2 locations, but also now they deliver online Loca or meals.loca.ca. Dinner just got a whole lot easier and tasty. Head to meals.loca.ca, select the number of chef-crafted meals you like, and they'll deliver right to your door for less than $10 a serving. It's tasty. Meals.loca.ca. Good night.
The Sports 1440 update.
And the Edmonton Oilers in action out in Pittsburgh midway through the first. This one is scoreless. Once it wraps up, Donovan Paulson will leave with Brandon Douglas recapping it here on 1440. Elsewhere, after 20 minutes, Bruins and Mammoth tied at 1 apiece. The Blackhawks lead the Maple Leafs 2-0. Canadians and Flyers tied at 1. Islanders have a 1-0 lead over the Red Wings. Evander Kane, 6th of the season, puts the Canucks up 1-0 over the Rangers, and the Ducks trail the Jackets 1-0. Later tonight, Wild host the Caps, the Flames in San Jose, and it's the Kraken taking on the Avalanche. In the association this evening, NBA Cup Championship from Las Vegas. The Knicks battle the Spurs with $500,000 prize on the line. Tip-off at 6:30. In the WHL, the Oil Kings are in Lethbridge at 7. And in the AJ, earlier today, Whitecourt gets past Devon 4-3. Later on tonight, the Storm in Drumheller and Calgary hosting Fort Mac. In the PWHL, you've got the Ottawa Charge in Vancouver at 8. Coming up next year on Sports 1440, it will be Fox Sports Radio. Once the Oilers and Penguins do wrap up, we've got post-game coverage. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440.